Hey, party people, broadcasting on time from deep in the heart of Texas. It is now the 11th hour. Do you know where I messed it up. Do you know where your reality is? Oh, God. Hey, guys, what is up? I am your host with the most scare performance, and I am alongside Fizzy Pop. Welcome to the Freaky Saturday. Or actually, what do we call this broadcast? If it's on Saturday?
The Freaky.
The Freakeasy. Yeah, the Freakeasy
Yeah.
broadcast. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Hey, look. All right. I got to fess up. I couldn't go live, Fizzy, because my Halo light broke.
Your Halo.
You know, yeah, Halo light. You know, like the YouTubers use, where it puts the little rings in your eyes, so you look all cool and stuff when you're broadcasting.
Oh, so your skin looks nice and your makeup looks nice. Yeah. I actually don't have a ring light thing.
Yeah, well, it also gives you that ring in the eyeball. You know, like
yeah,
you know,
I hate that.
Super, like, cool.
Lizard eyes.
So, well, it's not really a lizard. I don't know what it is, but like once you broadcast with Halo light, you just can't broadcast if your light goes out. You got to get a new one. So, yeah, that's my excuse. Actually, I mean, it doesn't really make sense that I have a Halo light since I'm not on air.
Not on this channel.
That's a pretty lame excuse. Channel, on a makeup channel, it'd probably be perfect, but yeah, not on this channel. By the way, I'm reading all your comments, laughing as I'm getting ready. You guys are hilarious and a bunch of brats at the same time. I just want to say, my audience, you guys are a bunch of brats, just flat out brats. Listen to this stuff, watching trees. Dan's hugging trees. Oh my God. I'm here. I think part of the lure of my broadcast is the fact that people know they can go in there and start complaining when I'm late because they know it's probably gonna happen. Oh God. Okay, so here's what happened. I honestly thought that it started at 11:30. I really did, and I was in kumbaya mode or whatever. I don't know what I was doing. I was just like I took a nap, and that didn't go well. Like waking up from that was like awful. Like I was just like trying to get my bearings, okay, and our bearings, as we call it here in Texas, my burns, and I just couldn't. So I was like, oh my God, what the hell? So I'm trying to wake up, getting some coffee in me. I'm looking at the clock. I'm sort of closing my eyes, like, oh my God, okay, dude, you got to get going here. Get pumped. And next thing you know, I get a call from Fizzy, and she's like, Dan.
Wake up, Dan.
wake up, Dan. I'm like, Fizzy, we don't go until 11:30. Don't worry, it's fine. Or 11:30, Fizzy time. And she's like, no, you had scheduled for 11. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. Well, so anyway, that's what happened. So anyway, but we're here, and we're fine. And the good news is that I can adjust the time as needed, and I adjusted it, and I was still late.
The eclipse is tonight, right? That's what Rosa said.
Yeah, it's tonight, I guess. Well, it's wherever it's daytime, or on the other side of the globe. The globe.
Oh, June 21st.
I know, I said that dirty word. The ball. It's a ball.
Oh no, everyone freak out. Oh, it's happening right now in India.
Is in India? Okay.
We won't get to see it.
No. Are we Indians?
No, but I mean, some eclipses you can only see in certain parts of the world, Dan.
Look, Fizzy, we can't see the eclipse, Fizzy, because it's happening right now in India.
I know, I understand. Solar.
Is the sun out where you help me here? Just kidding. I'm being a brat. Okay, no.
I shouldn't have woke you up. I should have just let the chat have at you for an hour until you woke up.
Gnaw on you. Oh yeah, Dan. Next time, it's gonna let the chat have you. That's right. should. Oh God, no, actually, yeah. So I know it's supposed to happen right now. Currently, it's 10:43 my time. Somewhere in the world, it's it's the next day, right? So yeah,
Mhm.
they're supposed to be happening. So you had 23.5 hours to prepare. Yes, I know, Spencer. Yes, I know. Oh God, yeah. Well, especially look in last night. Um, I got out of school, and I'm just like. Just couldn't. I was so tired. Like getting acclimated to the new schedule because I was going at night and then now I'm going on the day shift. You got to remember, I've been working like primarily my life has been at night. I've been a vampire for like the last 5 years since the Mandela effect. Okay. So now all of a sudden my happy butt has to get up at like 5:30 in the morning, to go to school and be there 8 hours a day. So yeah, I wasn't. At first, it was
Yeah, I
fine. I was
know.
like, I can do this. You get into like day four of that. Oh, 5:30 comes early. Let me tell you, it's yeah. I got to act like one of those normal people. It's weird. It's like, oh my god, getting up early and stuff, and like seeing the sun. When I walk out the door, I'm like, ow, what is that thing? It's the
I
sun.
thought lizards like the sun, Dan.
Oof. Hey, easy, easy. That can't be that can't be confirmed nor denied, Missy.
Mhm.
All right, I tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and check out the chat room here real quick because I should see who's here. Abruptly awaken, alone one, and bleach PC garage. Boohoo, wiener one. Catherine Snows, CJ
Who?
Wood. Look at the name. I mean, it's like who comes up with Damien?
Whiner, not wiener.
Oh,
Whiner.
sorry. A whiner. Well, even if it's whiner, it's still
Wiener.
even if it's, even if, even if it's whiner, it's still weird name. I just caught me off guard. Okay, God, I'm still waking up, people. All right, Dark Player One, D Johnson, Deborah O'Connor, dude, that's effed up. Fallen Star, Glowing's me, James, Randy. Watch those guys with two first names. I'm just telling you gotta always watch that. Jennifer, it's Jennifer. Okay, I was expecting something after the Jennifer, but no. Lothar 900, Mike Bowman, Melissa Hecker, Euler Greg, Party Puppy with the claw. What's up, Party Puppy? Pre Love Minimal, Rosa A, Sandra K, Skabrowski, Scott's not from here. Spencer's Mustache, System Failure, Splatter 420, True TNT, Varouche A is also with us tonight. And there's Deborah O'Connor. And, did I say Dean? I think so. I saw a few people pop in. I missed you. Let me go back here and see if I can catch the chat. Dan, get it together. Yeah, I know. I goodness gracious, I'm trying here. Okay, I'm work with me, people. Just work with me.
He's
Oh God,
delirious. They
I
all said
am.
you were out celebrating Juneteenth, which
Oh,
everybody
okay.
in Mandela is talking about Juneteenth.
You guys are so funny. Would you stop?
Why?
Because I've heard this like, Dan, I've never heard of Juneteenth. It's Mandela. I'm like, no, it's not Mandela. It's just, well, it's not really celebrated much around the country. Or most of the country doesn't know about it because what I believe Juneteenth is referring to is that at least the southern states like Texas and maybe Louisiana and a few others didn't realize that the slaves were free until June 19th. Okay. Of what year was it? I'm not sure. But nonetheless, 1865. So there we go. So that's why,
Well, that's
there was
what
a
I
delay. Of
figured.
course, there was no email or no, faxes sent. So
I
takes
figured
a
it
minute.
might be more of a southern thing or just like a kind of
Mm-hmm.
holiday like
Yeah.
that we don't
Totally.
really
I've known
celebrate.
about
But
Juneteenth.
it is kind of odd that people that live in southern states, a lot of people haven't heard of it, and it's supposedly been around forever.
That's
But like you
because we're
said, if you don't celebrate, yeah, that's the conspiracy, Dan. Everyone's
what?
pretending they know what it is, so they don't look like they're racist.
Oh yeah. I've always
So
known what
it's
it was.
like, uh
We
huh.
learned about it in Black History Month. We all know about Juneteenth. I
Yeah, and
mean,
we all know about the
yeah,
cotton gin and Eli
yeah.
Whitney.
Well,
That's a Mandela, Dan. So why
why don't
can't
people get all?
Juneteenth be a Mandela?
Because Juneteenth has always been around, Fizzy. I mean, like, as far as like, I don't understand the conspiracy or the Mandela about it. You're telling me
It
people
is a
didn't know
conspiracy.
Juneteenth? Well, you're
So
telling
many
people
people
didn't
don't know
know?
about it.
Well, you kind of have to live in Texas or one of the southern states to know about Juneteenth. I think, it's not something that was taught everywhere because it didn't really apply to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that might be the case. But also, with all the racial tensions and stuff that are going on right
Yeah,
now,
who's gonna
like
admit that
all this
they don't
stuff,
celebrate it, you know? So that's why everyone
right?
one person's like, "Oh, yeah, Juneteenth," and like, "Oh, of course, Juneteenth."
All right.
You know? I'm not a
The,
racist, I know about it.
oh, of course, sure
And then
you
it
do. No,
keeps
I know about
spreading
it.
until everybody has to pretend they know what it is, and that's
Right.
why you got the download.
Well, there was. I I worked with this. I worked with this black lady that was really funny. She was so cute. She one day she came up to me. She says, "Dan, we're celebrating Juneteenth," and I go, "Oh, we are? Okay, cool." And I already knew it was, but I was like, "How are we celebrating?" She's like, she goes, "We ordered chicken and watermelon." I swear to God, this was from her, and this is not a racial thing. She's just being funny and whatever. And she's like, "We're gonna eat chicken and watermelon at break time for Juneteenth." And she
How
said, "Would
do
you like?"
you celebrate Juneteenth? Is
I
it
don't
like
know.
Flag Day where no one really
I did
celebrates
it
it,
by
like it's a day
I
off?
did it by huh? Is that what'd you say?
Like Flag Day is a holiday, but no one really celebrates it.
Well,
You just
that's the
get the day
thing.
off.
Okay. Like Juneteenth wasn't in all honesty, down here in Tejas, we nobody really celebrated it. It's kinda like you know about it and you acknowledge it, but nobody really had a Juneteenth. There was, like, maybe some places that had a little parade or might have been something like that, but it wasn't really widely celebrated. It's kinda like we have Christmas, right? And then we also celebrate Hanukkah, but nobody really celebrates Hanukkah except for Jewish people, and nobody
Yeah, but
celebrates.
everyone
We also
knows
know about
about
Kwanzaa.
Hanukkah.
There's Kwanzaa, and people don't. I've never met anybody to go into a Kwanzaa celebration. Like it's there, it's available for you to celebrate if you would like. It's an option. It's one of the check boxes. But nobody really celebrates it. That's all.
I'm gonna Google it
I mean, for
because
the
if
most
it's
part.
been a thing forever, there must be some kind of rules.
Uh,
Celebrations include rodeos, street fairs, cookouts, family reunions, park parties,
mm,
historical reenactments, and the Miss Juneteenth contest.
okay. Well, there you go. I mean, like I said, I haven't been to. I've been to a rodeo. I've been there. I've been to street,
The
whatever.
colors are red,
But I
white,
don't.
and blue to echo the American flag.
Hmm.
A common theme is dressing in red, white, and blue to highlight Independence Day for Black people. It's also a
Okay,
nod to the Juneteenth flag, which
I
sports
didn't know there
bright
was a
red and
flag.
blue stripes and a bold white star overlay to represent the new star on the horizon of our community.
Oh wow.
There's
Well,
a lot of
you know,
rules.
with all the listen, with all the racial stuff going on, it's being brought up, like, because people are looking into all this stuff right now. So somebody came across it and they're like, "What's Juneteenth? Oh my God, it must be Mandela." And I'm like, "No, it's not for
I
me. It's
believe
always
you. I
been
just
around."
love conspiracies, like the birds aren't real and
Oh,
stuff like that.
sure. Well, let's look. The birds aren't real.
The more
So,
ridiculous it is, the more I love it.
right? Yeah, well, this world is getting crazy now, right? We're seeing all kinds of nutty stuff in the news. Let's see. Uh, Here's one right here. Let's look at this on screen right here. We have. Well, wait a minute. Let me get rid of the Beetle logo there. All right. So this is where'd you get this from? This is if you ever needed more proof that birds are government drones. Look, each planet, and it shows. What do we?
Look at the
Oh,
amount of death
of
from
death
birds.
on and it says has birds and Oliver knows. That is so funny. I can't believe somebody started that conspiracy. The birds aren't real. And it was so well done too. It was like, look at that bird. Did you believe that's a drone bird by the government?
Yeah, and the conspiracy was that the lockdown was so the birds could recharge. Because if we went outside, we noticed all the birds were gone, and then they'd be
Huh.
caught.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe that's why my birds chirp. Like they're all defective and they start chirping at like 3 in the morning, acting like they're just like it's like the morning time or something, you know? Like
Mhm.
you've heard it. You've been sitting out, we've had our talks late at night with the crew or whatever, and you got have my back door open, you'd be like, dude, what the hell's up with your birds? I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like late at night. It's a chirp, chirp, just talking away, and it's such a weird thing. So I don't know, man. We are seriously, whew, I mean, every week it's something new, right? Just more and more craziness going on. Let's see. What else do I have to show you? Oh my God, we got a lot to
You
get into. But
you got a
yeah.
donation from Mr. Darkwolf.
Oh, I did. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I see the Dark Wolf. Thank you, Dark Wolf. And I saw some other people donated too, right? We had two others, and I,
Yep,
I think I acknowledged that earlier in the chat. Thank you all for that. I appreciate it so
Joel's
much.
Journey and Jennifer Richardson.
Jennifer Richardson, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure Joel's journey. I thought when he donated, he was like, great broadcast, and we haven't even gone on air yet. I'm like, oh, he being
Like, you're gonna
facetious,
have to wait an hour, Joel.
right? Like I think, yeah, Joe, hold your donation until I can get on air, buddy. I mean, I appreciate the praise and everything. I really haven't done much. No, but actually, thank you all for that. Um, yeah, so we have Dark Wolf, and they're doing the conference, as you guys know. It's online this year, thanks to COVID, and probably among other things, probably maybe I don't know, maybe easier. I don't know, but especially traveling for people, right? Probably a little more difficult. So, Dark Wolf, go ahead and just put that in there, would you? And let people know where to go if they'd like to see any of the videos and presentations of people that are doing it this year, man. That would be fine. And I'll have Fizzy. I'll have her either look it up or something and just drop a
Yeah, I'll
link.
put it in there
Okay.
quick.
Yeah. Thank you. And also, let's see here. So getting into the news, let's see here. Great memes going around this week. There's this one right here. As you can see, I'm sure things will be back to normal by July, and Smudge is on the attack. That's great. No. Yeah, by July. Yeah. What could happen by July? We had the calendar of events. Is that still in our group?
Oh, I
The
don't
different
know what happened to it, but I'm pretty sure July was aliens. So Smudge kind of makes
right.
a little bit of sense.
Yeah, maybe so, right? We're gonna have the alien invasion. I mean, what else can happen this year? So far, we have pandemics, and we've had racial tensions, civil unrest. Why not aliens? I mean,
Fire
sure.
in
Sure.
Australia, World War III,
Yeah.
the Kim Jong-un dying and coming back to life.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kim was done. He was supposedly dead.
That
No,
barely made the news. That's how much craziness is going on. Nobody cared. It's like, oh, he's alive again. Crap.
yeah,
And then
I
it was
know.
just gone.
God. Oh my God. Well, check this out. This is another one that you brought up. This is interesting. Um, who's heard of the Atlas moth? Hmm? I would have said that the largest moths at the time, when I was growing up, were those ones from Silence of the Lambs. Remember those
The
ones with
brown ones.
yeah,
They're
the brown
also
ones? Yeah,
they're
they're
also
big.
technically an atlas moth, but what's really weird is that
Hmm.
people keep posting these in local groups like they've always been here. Like, ooh, found another one, and everyone's like, oh, they're so pretty, and they're just odd to me. And there was one right before you called, bopping around on the window. I've never
Uh-huh.
seen them before this year. I mean, it's possible that they migrated, but everybody acting like they've been here forever is just strange to me because I've never seen one up here. I've seen them when we
Yeah.
were looking for animals, but yeah.
I'm telling you, and you know, I'm gonna lose a little guy points for this, but back when I was really young, I had a fascination with butterflies. Sorry, it's true. It's weird to think, But when I was a kid, like I was a boy, I thought butterflies were just the coolest thing ever. I don't know why. I love the butterfly, and so I would try to catch them, and I got real proficient. I had a book. My parents they saw me and my friend. We would so
You were a bug
so
collector?
like I was no a butterfly, Glenn, not bugs. Just no, not bugs. All
Okay.
bugs. Just butterflies. I thought butterflies were cool.
I'm not gonna
And
mock this hobby. I actually appreciate it. So go
now
ahead.
listen, yeah, it was one of those things. Okay, as a kid, I was just learning about nature. Okay, it was sweet. All right, it was very, very sweet and innocent. Anyway, point is that at the time I had all these books on different types of butterflies and moths and stuff like that. I never remember ever seeing an atlas moth ever in the book. I would, of course, the bigger the butterfly, the better, right? I mean, when you're a kid, you're like, wow, these things are huge, man. I mean, here's a picture of one right here. This is what they look like. These large moths, and they're green and they got
It's
these
about
tails.
the size of my hand.
Yeah, they get
Maybe
bigger, right?
even bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And look at the
I've
bright
seen
pink on his top part. You see it?
up here. Yeah, yeah. They have
Yeah.
weird markings I've never seen before. So, perhaps they migrated from Cuba since Cuba seems a bit closer these days, or
To New
bigger, maybe,
York?
or species. I don't
What are they
know.
doing up here?
Well, there is a migration of butterflies, the,
Yeah,
what
I guess so.
y yeah, the ones that, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the name, it is the, oh, it slips my mind, but there's a type of butterfly that flies from all the way down to Mexico, right? It migrates from North America down to Mexico every year. I think it's the,
Hmm.
I don't know why I can't think of that butterfly. It's the one that's orange and black, you know, um,
Monarch?
monarchs, yeah, monarch butterfly. Yeah, the Illuminati butterfly. It migrates thousands of miles, apparently. So I've seen this migration in Texas once. They flew over. I mean, it was like, dude, it was so cool. The whole sky was covered with butterflies as they migrated through, and you used to see this. Now, I don't know if that still happens. I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, there is these new moths and much bigger ones than I remember. It does seem like a manned animal to me. Oh, and look, he has those crazy antenna. Remember those? Wow, this is
Hmm.
what's those antenna.
He landed on the
Yeah.
windowsill and he was just looking at me.
Yeah. Oh, really? Did you get a picture?
No, every time I tried to take a picture, he'd start wiggling again.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was strange. I've never seen him up here before, and everyone's acting like it's totally normal. So I don't know. I think something that
Oh,
bright looks more tropical, and it's super
yeah.
cold, so it doesn't really make sense for him to be here.
Oh, gotcha. Also, just a correction. July is the solar flares, and then it says the
Oh
giant
yeah,
volcano.
shoot. Okay.
And then let's see. Yeah, where else it said? Yeah, I was reading this, and then it's aliens or something further down this year. So we got a while. We got a while to go before we get to the aliens. Oh, that's good to
Cool.
know. Uh, the lunar moth. Yeah, lunar moths. That's another one, right? We had the Goliath ones, and then lunar moths, and I mean these things look like straight out of
Wait, is that a lunar or yeah, the green ones are Luna moth, not a Atlas
yeah, I
moth. I
think
don't know
that's.
where I
Oh,
got
okay.
that
So
from.
this is yeah, okay. Here it is. That's what you're looking at right there. You're looking at lunar
Yeah, the
moth,
bright green.
the bright green ones right there. Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're pretty good size, but
Oh,
they're
they're gross. Their
they're
body's like,
cute. Look,
ugh.
furry, and you got these cute little like like
I thought it
leaf-like.
was a bat.
Here,
It was
you
so
got a
fluffy when
bat.
it was banging on the window. I saw this white fluff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a bat. No, it was him.
Look at it. Look at it, Fizzy. Look.
Nope.
Fizzy, let me
No.
in. Oh gosh. Okay, so we have those. Let's see, and then Goliath. Let's
See, I know about some of these because you catch them in Animal Crossing, and they're worth a ton of money. But they shouldn't be here, Dan.
Um, I don't think any of these things should be here. Let me just explain the size. These are massive. Okay, so this is the Oh, the Atlas moth. That's what it was. Okay. I called it Goliath, but it was Atlas. Okay, so here it is again. Get my names messed up.
Yeah,
Look how big
I've
this thing
seen the
is.
brown ones, but I've never
Oof.
seen the green ones here. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're nasty.
look at this thing. Oh my God. Imagine that on you. Wow. Yikes. That's a big, big moth. And there's a picture. And it also has those strange antenna.
Mm-hmm.
Look, what is up with
It's a
those
feather
antenna, man?
dusters. So
I
weird.
guess. Weird. Here's another picture. God, that's crazy looking. Right.
Don't look
He
at
looks like
me.
he means some bit. He looks like he means business. I'm just saying. It's interesting mothy there. So yeah, we have that, and all kinds of just strange critters popping up. Of course, you
Oh,
can see more about these critters on Mandela Monday. Yeah, what's up?
I just sent you an article I found. Remember that Mandela portal in Watertown? They found
Uh,
connections to Area 51.
oh, stop.
The Area 51 code name was Watertown, and the Mandela portal is in Watertown.
Oh
And
my.
the head of the FBI or whatever, that
Uh-huh.
he is from Watertown. So he went
Okay.
through the portal to Area 51.
All right. Well, let's take a look.
He's just like, what? How do you jump to
What
these
I
conclusions?
I am just like, okay. Hey, if you tell me that you're dealing with a portal situation, who am I to judge? So right here, Weird New York says the paranormal Thompson Park interdimensional vortex
Look
actually
at the
has a sign.
sign they put up. Yeah.
Watertown's Area 51, Thompson Park vortex. Okay, so explain to us what happens in the vortex, Fizzy.
Well, they said the one woman that got stuck in said she lost
Mhm.
time. When she came out of the portal, it was like half an hour later. But for her, she said everything looked like off color, like she was somewhere else, but she couldn't see any of the other people. She are you laughing?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good.
No,
Yeah.
no, no.
And she said everything was like yellowed and it was the same, but it was different and it was really scary. So she's devoted her life to finding it again. It moves around the park, Dan. So you could
It
be in
moves
one
around.
place and find it, and then the next time it's
Uh,
gone. So people always stumble into it by accident.
I see.
That's why they
So
had to put up the
moving.
sign.
It's a moving portal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a stationary portal.
No.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Oh, well, all right. So, have you been to this park personally?
Mm-hmm.
You
Never
have.
found it though. Never. I didn't really
No.
look for it, to be honest.
Well,
I'm not
how do you
going
look
in.
for a portal? I mean, unless you're maybe like somebody who's very sensitive to portal energy, maybe that would be one way to do it. Imagine. I wonder if
Well,
like
they say that if you're looking for it, you won't find it. Like it has kind of like it knows. If you're looking for it,
you know,
it'll disappear. But
oh,
if you're not looking for it, you find it.
it knows. So it's a conscious moving
Yes.
portal.
Time
Ah,
portal.
okay. Well, all this makes complete sense, of course. I mean, obviously. Let's just take a look at what's happening here. New York is full of mysteries. Some are cool, some are just plain weird. The Thompson Park Vortex, just 90 minutes from Utica, is cool and super weird. About 80 miles from Utica is a paranormal site where people claim to lose time, get disoriented, disappear, and reappear, and sometimes not reappearing, according to tales. The Thompson Park Vortex in Watertown has such a long history of paranormal events, the city finally acknowledged the legend and has even installed a warning sign located near the vortex. Over the years, observers claim the location of the vortex actually moves around the park. As an added twist, the government's code name for Area 51 Nevada is Watertown. Now, see, that's the first I've heard of that. I had never heard that that the Area 51 was called Watertown. Is that something new to
Mm-hmm.
you guys? Anybody? Okay.
I never heard
All
that either.
I know, that's weird. I never heard that. The head of the CIA at the time, Alan Dulles, was from Watertown. Oh, shit. That's crazy. Supernatural investigators have inspected the vortex and discovered the presence of very high electromagnetic fields in the vortex. Does this account for people being snapped from this dimension to another? Maybe. Another
Probably.
explanation is that the high EMF bands can cause people to feel headaches, nausea, feeling watched, hallucinations, and intense illness. One visitor of the site says the high EMF can be attributed to mineral deposits below the ground. They always blame it on the mineral deposits. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
that's
it's
BS.
always those
There's no
minerals.
minerals.
Dude, like listen, I've looked at rocks, Dan. I ain't seeing no mineral. It's a conspiracy. All right. So anyway, so going on, there is no vortex that no, there's no vortex. What is there has been proven throughout the years in regards to iron deposits, quartz crystals. Oh, and so it's crystals too in the limestone rocks along with copper combined, they create electromagnetic fields. Really? So I did not know that. I didn't know you could create high magnetic fields with crystals, copper, and limestone. I bet you put those things together. What is this thing like? It's like Land of the Lost. Remember when they would put the rocks together and make stuff flash? Like, can I just get some quartz and some copper and put it together and see what happens? Maybe we should try that. See what happens. Maybe we can create our own portals. I don't know. If you
I
want to
don't
check out
know.
Temple Park Vortex and decide for yourself, get to the park and look for the Area 51 sign near the entrance to the zoo. Now, there's a zoo there, or like a petting zoo.
Yeah,
What is it?
that's a pretty bad place to put a zoo if people are going to be disappearing. Like, what if a tiger reappears somewhere else?
Hmm, interesting.
Bad
Well,
call.
I don't know what to say. Yeah. Well, there's like all kinds of new stuff, and so now you've known about the portal your whole life, right?
No, I found out about it a couple years ago around Mandela time.
Well, isn't that a little weird that you found out about it then?
Yeah. And no one
Considering
around here knows about
there,
it. That's why they keep pumping articles about it. Like, oh, it's always been here. There's so many stories. Party
right?
Puppy's from Watertown, and he didn't know about it either until I told him.
Mm. Party puppies from Watertown. Really?
Yeah,
Does he have some
yeah.
kin up there? I wonder if you know some of his family.
We're probably related.
Probably related. Oh, how weird. That would be a little strange, but hey, could happen. I mean, after all, small world. Okay. So let's see here. Just in the news, let's get into it because it is part of what's going on these days. Obviously, all the craziness going on, and as you guys can see on screen, Eskimo pie, Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, and cream of wheat are changing. Are the Washington Red? I knew they're going to bring up the Washington. They've been wanting to change the Washington Redskins for like 20 years, man. Somebody's been
Do you know
complaining
what's
about the
really?
damn Redskins. Yeah.
I felt really bad because everyone's talking about the Black Lives Matter, and the Native Americans are over here like, "Hey, still on reservation. Can we get some time?" And everyone's just like, "Nah, Aunt Jemima's gotta go."
Yeah, Aunt Jemima. Really? Well, Aunt Jemima was an aunt, right? Who isn't there a little bit of history about Aunt Jemima? She was a real person who started a food, started selling,
Yep, she
uh,
started doing
right?
pancakes. She came up with a pancake
Pancakes.
mix, and then they bought it, and then they kept her on as a
uh,
spokesperson. And I guess she was one of the first Black millionaires. I'm
Okay.
not sure if
And
all the stuff about
this
her is
is
true.
racist how?
Because her
Like,
face looks like
explain me.
a caricature. But that's literally what her face looks like. So you're really insulting her. But
What are they going to
I don't
change?
know.
They're going to remove. What are they? Do we know what they're going to remove out of this? I mean, they're going to remove her face. Is that what they're going to do? I mean, can we not? Oh, what's up next? Uncle Ben's? Oh, because what they do? Because what? They're black people who are on packages. Is that the problem? I don't get it. I mean, anyway, these were real people, and there was nothing. Nobody ever looked at that and was like, "Why that slave make some pancakes?" Nobody's saying that. Nobody's like, "Hey, pass me the," you know. It's just, what are we doing? Why? It's just incredible, man. I just want to We're freaking out over all this stuff. I think there's all kinds of stuff being talked about, but nonetheless, yeah, Uncle Ben's. Oh, Eskimo pies, really? Is that offensive to Eskimos? Really? I mean, what do Eskimo? I bet Eskimos love Eskimo pies. Who doesn't love the Eskimo pie? I don't know. It's so weird how this is like political correctness run amok, right? I think I just lost. Did I lose Fizzy? I just lost Fizzy, and she's not here. And yeah, I just she'll be back though because she got sucked up by the vortex. Obviously, that's what happens. It's the 12-12 vortex that gets her every time, and she'll be back, people. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with here. This insanity right now in the world. And it's just stuff that we're pointing out because, it's one thing after another. And I'm sorry, guys, but a lot of this is just, it's, even though Trump and the administration will talk tough and be like, you need to do something about Seattle. You need to go in there or I'm going to do something, like he's talking tough for his constituents. All right. The whole thing, my understanding, it just looks like an orchestrated event once again. All right, you're gonna have these protesters take over an area of Seattle and start, renaming it some new place, I guess, right? A new country, is that what I'm hearing? And then, of course, they're gonna write their own constitution, and then yeah, whatever, But at some point that's going to break down. Okay. Lord of the Flies ain't going to happen. But they're trying to get that idea planted out there so that people try this in other places, other states, and they want to create the chaos. All right. And the more chaos they have, well, the more military and the more, strength they can bring forth. Okay. For justified, or at least, at least proposed justified reasons. That's what's happening. And we're seeing that now. And so that's the issue, people. I mean, more and more craziness. And of course, this stuff in the news right here, looking for any way to just create more division, racial tension, stuff like that. And worrying about the names of food items. Now, that's what is really important. Now we're just going crazy, trying to change everything, trying to make, this world safe from Uncle Ben's and cream of wheat. Really, cream of I just don't know what they're going to change it to. Let me look at this article a little bit closer here. I keep closing that out. Okay. Let me see here. All right. So Quaker said it would retire Aunt Jemima from its packaging on its brand of syrup and pancakes. Okay. Acknowledging its prior work to update the character was not enough. Well, as far as I understood, she wasn't really a character. She was a real person. So aren't you paying homage to that person who invented it? Anyway, just weird. All right. So there it is. Then in rapid succession, Wednesday, the owners of Uncle Ben's and Mrs. Butterworth and Cream of Wheat said their products packaging also would be revised. Well, can't be one up by some other company, right? You got to show that you're, not racist or whatever. And so people are just going to jump on board with this now. It's going to be crazy. There's probably be a lot of other things too that are going to show up. Oh God, get ready for the craziness, people. It's really, really coming. And yeah, I don't know. Fizzy should be back here any moment, but I don't see her. All right, still looking. It's a Fizzy watch party, guys. If you see her, let me know. All right, this is a real movement, and this one feels really, really different. Oh, okay. Los Angeles-based 2050 marketing. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Dan Gadsby, a former TV producer who in 2017 started a Change.org petition asking PepsiCo, which owns Quaker Oats, to replace Aunt Jemima with his now late wife, TV personality B. Smith, one of the country's first high-profile Black models, who went on to become an author, restaurateur, and lifestyle maven. Black Lives Matter masks allowed. Taco Bell says employees can wear Black Lives Matter masks after a worker was fired for wearing one. Oh boy. Okay. here's a problem with all this political craziness. You can't go anywhere or listen to anything right now without it becoming an issue somewhere, right? So the other day I'm in the car and I'm just listening to whatever was on the radio. Oh my God, everything from country stations to sports radio, it's all something about, you know, racial tensions or, you know, all the stuff that's in the media. So basically they're playing politics is my point everywhere. I'm like, what I who wants to hear what the country station has to say? But of course, you know, because it's a country station, they got to do it because, you know, God knows, you know, I mean, that label you would get as a country radio station, you got to watch out, you know, with all this stuff that's going on in the world right now. People will just assume that just because you play country music, you're racist. So there we are. This is the insanity. Speaking of insanity, bam, here's Hannity. Okay, I want to show you this. I was watching this. This is the video of the guy in Atlanta who got shot by police. And it's something I thought about. Okay, guys. Now look, as you know, I've been one of the few that have been out there saying that some of this stuff looks like scripted. Okay. We've seen many scripted events over the last few years. A lot of times major shootings and stuff like that look completely contrived. However, now that all this is going on, people seem to just take it at face value and think that cops are out there killing people and just shooting people and all this stuff. I'm not saying that police brutality doesn't exist. It absolutely does. I'm not saying racial profiling doesn't exist. It does exist. However, right now, in the current era in which we're living, it seems like more and more of this stuff just seems to get caught on film just at the right time. While all these racial tensions are going on, now we see another shooting that happened in Atlanta a few days ago. But I started watching this video and I had seen, this is the first time I saw it, which was today. And I started looking into it, started thinking about it. Well, let's take a look. So Hannity was showing this guy. I want you to listen to the way the cop speaks, first off. All right, now this guy apparently had fallen asleep in a drive-through. Okay. And apparently he was drunk or whatever, right? But let's take a look at how the cop talks to this guy. 1 second.
What's up, my man? Hey. Come in. Hey. Hey, man, you're parked in the middle of the drive-through line here. You good?
You're did you forget your lines, buddy? I mean, who you're parked in the middle of a drive-through line, you don't know what to say to the guy? Nah, man, that's not the way it would happen. So there's that point. Like, it just starts to look a little strange. Okay, so then it goes a little further. They talk to the dude, right? Everybody's being cool. By the way, he doesn't look inebriated at all. All right, he doesn't look drunk. He looks like he's just tired. There's no slurring of speech or anything like that. They go to arrest the guy. And then this is something I picked up on. All right. This is where, to me, it was really crazy. Now, there's a fight that ensues. The guy grabs a taser from one of the cops. He goes running. And then he turns around and it looks like he fires the taser like up in the air. Like he doesn't even fire it at the cop. And then the cop shoots him in the back. Okay. So we see this and we think, oh my God, here it is again. The problem with this is that I'll tell you why something triggered me. Let me get to this point in the video. All right, so he fights with cops. I don't want to play too much of this because of copyright reasons. But it's something about, okay. Let me just tell you what's going on. This is the drive-through area, apparently, right here, right? These cars are all lined up. What I noticed was when this guy was running, how far the cars are behind each other. Like that is usually these cars are like right up on each other. You wouldn't even be able to see what was taking place, but they have them so well spaced that you get to see the event take place and with a perfect angle here. Let me play it.
turns around, and in fact, this is what the APD is now saying, and seems to fire that taser.
All right. So there it is. So I just noticed that I was thinking, God, if there's people waiting in line at this, you know, at a restaurant or wherever he was at, fast food place, the cars are typically right behind each other, man. Like they don't just give you like almost a car length of space. And then the next car would be behind him. And then I don't know. I was looking at this going, it's so well spaced and the way it all went down. And like this, there'd be no need to really shoot the guy. And, but once again, we get this story and we see it and we see them running. We see it looks like he fires the taser up in the air. It's not even close to the cop. And then he supposedly dies, right? So there we go. So is it more the same crap that we've seen in the past? Is this more to drive and stir up the racial tensions? It's very possible. And be in the way, from everything we're seeing right now, we're seeing all this all over the airwaves. Every time we turn on the television or in social media, somebody's getting triggered and somebody's getting upset, And so I kind of wonder now if this isn't, the more of these aren't just being planned to really tear at the fabric of America and bring us down in many different ways. Okay, financially, through the racial divide, and everything else. And of course, I don't know. I think there's still rioting and things like that even today. Hold on, let me grab Fizzy. Hey, Fizz. There you are. Hey, girl. You're
Sorry
back.
about it. It wouldn't turn back on.
Oh, I know. Well, I figured there was something going on. Yeah, I was just showing people the video that I saw, and I was just like, you have to watch the whole video. I can't play it here, but when you watch it, it just looks like I don't
Fake?
know. It looks fake. Like it just has a sense of like it just doesn't look like a typical listen, as a guy who's been pulled over and stopped like about 100 times. I have the distinction of, listen, I had a cop one time pull me over, walk back to my car and go, damn, man, you get pulled over a lot. Not that I've done anything. I just have one of those faces or something. I don't know what it is. It's like, pull me over. So he actually acknowledged the fact that I've been pulled over a lot, And I just kind of laughed like, yeah, I do get pulled over a lot. I don't know what it is about me. But he just shook his head like, man, I don't know why you get pulled over so much. You don't get a lot of tickets. He goes, they just like pulling you over.
Sometimes it actually depends on your car too. Like if you have a sportier car, you'll get pulled over. If you have an older car, you get pulled over more. And the bandana, they probably think you're in a gang band.
I know. No, I've heard that one. Yeah, you wear the bandana and stuff, which I used to wear the bandana all the time, at work and stuff like that. When I work on cars, keep the oil out of my hair, kind of. I don't like I don't want to get in shiny from oil, right? So, it's part of it. And I drove a sports car and I drove late at night. So everything you just mentioned, check. Yeah, bandana, driving late, sports car. Yeah, that's pretty much that explains why I got pulled over.
Can I tell you the last time I got pulled over, there's a cop right behind me, and what they do around here is they'll put their brights on, so you get really nervous. You can't see very well. And then a milk truck was coming the other way, and I went off the road a little bit, and he pulls me over. And I'm like, I got scared. He just started laughing. He's like, okay, like, obviously you're not drunk or anything,
Yeah. I got scared. Well, they love doing that. They like to. That's the one thing I hate. I will say about cops. They do intimidate you sometimes. They try to see if you'll screw up. They like to ride your ass. That's what pisses me off.
Then I couldn't see. And then the big milk truck was coming, and it's a back road, so not very wide. So I was worried about getting plowed by a milk truck. So it was his fault, and he knew it.
I remember I had an incident once with a black cop. I remember one time this dude pulls me over, and I was at the time I had my car was about a year and a half old. I had a 350Z, so it was, at the time it was like a pretty fancy car, and
Mhm.
I had turbocharged it, and I had, put all this work into it, body kit and everything. It was a pretty hot looking car, and I got pulled over. Okay, I was speeding, whatever. And guy pulls me over and he walks up and I am dirty. I look like shit. I am just I am greasy and my hand, I'm just tired, been working on another guy's car and working out of a dude's garage. And so, I don't look the best or anything like that. And I definitely don't look like an owner of a car or something like that. And he said that. He looked right at me and went, "You own this car?" Like I was crap. Yeah. No, no lie. And like if it were reversed, someone would be like, "Oh my God, that's so racist." If it was a white cop saying it to a black guy, they would be like, "Absolutely, that's effing racist, man. You're just
Or a
being
white
racist."
guy saying to a Mexican guy.
Well, this
That's
was a black
racist.
cop saying it to us like a, Hispanic guy or whatever I am. I'm okay with that.
Whatever I am.
Whatever I am. I don't know what I am. I'm a coconut. Brown on the outside, white on the inside. So the thing is like, but I didn't go racism. Just that wasn't my first thought. It was more like I kind of understood what he was saying. Like, I get it, man. I mean, I do look like I stole the car. I get it. I got a bandana on my head. I look like a cholo. I'm driving this really nice car, so I must be either selling drugs or something like. I get it. Okay, but that's not always the case. Appearances, that's why you can't always just, look at something and say, "Oh, it must be that," because it's not the case. I got pulled over middle of the night all the time because I was driving customer cars home that were older cars or whatever. And one car happened. I mean, you don't drive a 1996 freaking Honda Prelude, like, with, a different colored fender on your car, without getting a little attention at 3 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So I get
See,
pulled over.
that's why Dad kept his old truck, because he didn't want to get the new car dirty. Because he used to work on trucks too, and he'd get all greasy and stuff. So Mom wouldn't let him in the car.
Yeah. I
I'm
got
just
pulled over in
saying,
that car.
yeah.
What's up? No, I
I'm
was
just
gonna
saying
say,
I wouldn't let you in my car if you were covered in grease.
I wasn't necessarily covered in grease. I was just dirty, like my shirt was dirty and stuff like that. I mean, I washed up, but I'm just saying, like, you're wearing old kind of clothes and you're not wearing
Yeah,
your
they judge people
best.
by that.
They
The
do.
only reason I never get tickets is because I act cute and I dress cute. And they're like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't be scared of the milk chuck fizz. We're not going to give you a ticket."
Right.
And because my
No,
last name actually means something up here. So there's
I
that.
got pulled over. White lady cop. She's real pretty too. She was like really a pretty. Honestly, like at the time, I was like, "Damn, I seriously would ask you out right now, but it'd probably be a little awkward, and you have a gun, so that's why I didn't ask her." But she pulled me
She probably
over.
enjoys getting flirted with, Dan.
I don't know, Fizzy. She probably gets flirted with all the time, and I was like, I ain't taking a bullet. That's all I'm saying. But listen, this white lady cop pulled me over. She pulled me over, and she was like, "Are you She tried to say, she tried to get me to admit that I was smoking weed, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I looked at her like she's crazy. I was like, "Ma'am, I don't smoke weed." And she's like, "Well, what's that stuff on your chest right there?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's from my cigarette. It's like freaking tobacco. It's like I roll my cigarettes so they're not packed very well, so sometimes it falls out." She's like, "Can I reach into my bag and show you?" And I said, I mean, because I asked her first, because, it's a lady cop. And oddly enough, she was the only one pulling me over, which I found a little strange. Like, I figured she'd have a backup or something, but whatever, or riding with a partner. But she pulled me over, by herself, whatever. She must be a tough cookie. Anyway, she pulls me over and I show her. I'm like, "Look, see, it's just tobacco. Besides, what weed is brown? I always thought you're just looking for something, whatever." And she tried to say my license plate light was too dim. That's the one they use all the time.
What?
Well, your license plate light is a little dim, and we're supposed to be able to see them if we turn our lights off. Did you see me turn my lights off? Yeah, I saw you turn them off real quick and back on. Like, I don't know how you read it that fast, but okay. It's just an excuse to pull you over. Like they do that crap to
Mhm.
everybody. Yeah, I promise you, it's not just a certain race of
I
people
got
that get
pulled over once for
holy cow.
having too many air fresheners on my mirror. They said it was an obstruction of vision, and they gave me a fix-it ticket. So I had to take them all off and go to the
Uh,
state police and tell them that I didn't have the air fresheners anymore. I'm like, really? Are you that bored? It's like in the middle
exactly.
of the afternoon. I was right almost to my house. And he's like, where are you going? I'm like, right there. He's like, well, you got too many air fresheners. It's like, what? Is that a thing?
Well,
Maybe they thought I was trying to cover something up.
ooh, yeah. Well, there might be a no air freshener thing because if you have too many fresheners, they can't smell the weed fizzing.
Yeah, but I like to mix them together. Like strawberry and vanilla and cotton candy together is the best.
Oh God, are those the tree kind? You
Yeah.
hanging on trees
Little
off
little trees.
the tree? Oh
Joe's
God,
aunt works at the tree
fan of the
factory,
air
and
fresheners.
he
Yeah.
gets all these like different scents that they were trying out, like that they never actually sold. It's like Bath and Body Works kind of smells. So yeah, I got in trouble.
I've always been a fan of the natural pleather smell.
New car smell.
Yeah, new car smell. Yeah. Just vinyl and plastic. It has a good aroma. I'm not a big fan of the air fresheners, man. It's like some people go overboard. I bet you were one. There was. I'm not lying. Their car had so many air fresheners beside me. I had my window down. I could smell it. Like that's too much. When you can smell somebody's car beside you at a stoplight, I'm like, I looked over like, damn, that's a lot of air freshener. I can smell you from here. It's like it's too much. I think there's a limit. There should be a law about that, right?
Yeah, and I have a habit of like if one goes off, I just forget to take it off and just add more. It's like this bouquet of. Yeah, it was probably a little much.
A little much, yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, a lot of people like the fresheners. I've never been a fan, and I think once you go freshener, I think it's an addiction. I think you have an air freshener.
I'm gonna send you some of the special ones that never make it to the stores.
Oh, there's special ones.
I just told you, Joe's aunt works at the tree factory. They make all these limited edition ones.
Oh, I think I just tried to block that out. They have limited edition ones. Oh, cool. I'll hang a tree in my dad's car or something. That'd be cool. He needs a tree. Actually, I'll just hang around my dad. Just put trees around him. He doesn't get out enough. Like nature. Do they have a nature
them? Just
I
walks by.
Yeah, I need a Febreze, my dad.
Oh, they're asking if we're taking calls.
Oh yeah, we are.
Yeah, the tree factory's in Watertown, isn't it? Party Puppy knows.
Okay, there you go. I wonder how they get those scents. Is that is it all natural or do they use a lot of chemicals?
No, there is nothing natural about them.
It's not a natural scent. All right, guys. Look, the call line is open. Let me go ahead and post the number here. And let's see here. We have some more memes to get into.
Okay.
God, let's look at these. All right, this one right here. This came up. Cream of nothing. Smoke and mirrors. That's bad.
It's funny because now that they're taking all the people off of the packaging, people are coming up with their own packaging. So cream of nothing I thought was hilarious because it literally tastes like nothing.
It does. Yeah. Uncle Don's MAGA syrup. Here we go. Yeah. So we got that one there. I gotta be careful about what memes I start showing on. Some of these are
not safe for work.
Not safe for the workplace. Yes. Here's some more news, real quick. By the way, if you don't know, the call lines are open, guys. Share screen. Here we go. How about this one? Feral pigs eat and destroy 22,000 worth of cocaine hidden in an Italian forest. Now, first off, how do they know that 22,000 was there? I mean, $22,000, is that really a lot of coke? I don't think that's a lot of coke, is it? I mean, in the grand scale of drug bust or cocaine eating.
Well, it depends how much they sell it over there, but yeah, it's enough for a pig to get pretty messed up, I would think.
This can't be real news. Obviously, they show a pig running like he's all high on coke. It's funny. And somebody put this: who had coke boars for June? Oh, yes, on the list, right? After the aliens
Mhm.
or cocaine boars. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think this has got to be some fake news because, I mean, how would you know that you had that much cocaine growing anyway if if it got eaten by boars, right? I mean, who's going to admit to that? Like, oh man, you're going to call the cops and be like,
Or if it's insured, they can be like, they did $22,000 worth of damage.
right. I had all this coca plant, that it was eaten by the boars. And yeah, I don't know.
Look how high you can jump, Dan.
That's the cocaine talking. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we have a caller. Let's go to the caller real quick. We have Clearwater, Florida. Mm-hmm. All right, Clearwater, you're on with Scare Performance. What's on your mind tonight?
You're like, oh no, it's Clearwater.
It's Clearwater. Oh boy, here we go.
It's Clearwater.
It's Glow. What's up, Glow?
Okay, so I'm right with you that Juneteenth is not a Mandela effect just because nobody heard about it.
Thank you.
I didn't know what it was. I was from Vermont. I had no idea what it was until I was in South Carolina going to school. And I think it wasn't even until like my junior year that I did anything for Juneteenth because I had my boyfriend is black then, so I got to go to a block party. But that was basically it. It was just, it could range from like if it was more of like a black town, like a parade and like fireworks and like more of like a picnic social, to more like a street clothes off block party in the black part of town. And yes, it is segregated still kind of like that in certain areas.
You didn't try for Miss Juneteenth?
There's things, because here's one of these like unique things about like the South. Like, it's so strange because like when you're from the North, you have all these like really weird perceptions about the South, and like the whole, like, you look at the rebel flag thing and you're like, oh, it's racist, this, that, and the other. But like, there was just as many black people that had the rebel flag on their walls in college as there were white people. I don't know. It's like this weird, like, it was more.
Nobody ever. It wasn't a racial thing.
90s.
Well, the whole thing is stupid.
No,
Let me just.
It was like a rebel thing.
Listen, it was a rebel thing.
I'm a rebel.
Well, you were. Listen. Nobody ever looked at that flag and thought racism, because at least we knew down here that the Civil War wasn't fought over slavery alone. In fact, most of it was fought for other things. Slavery was just the thing they used to, get everybody hyped on the war and get everybody to back it. Okay. There's, in the Ku Klux Klan, you find out that originally it was started because the North was coming in raping the South after the war, and blacks were a part of the Klan. Did you know that? Blacks were in the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, it was a pretty ugly mess so if you're in the South, like, most of the older people will not call it they'll call it the war between the states, basically. Mm-hmm. They don't even call it the, whatever war, as the rest of the country goes. And I'm not saying there are racist attitudes, but I mean, there are towns that you go through that are like basically a black town. And if you do, like, someone could crash into you and you're going to get the ticket. You see what I'm saying? Like, mm-hmm. It can go both ways. Uh-huh. And then there's also kind of like this respect type of almost thing, because you actually are more integrated. You actually do see people of other races around you. So it's not like being like lily white, like
They keep telling
whatever,
us that
like Midwest.
there's all this
You know what I'm
racism.
saying? Like you're not out like Indiana where you some podunk town where you've never seen a black person. Like you are integrated. Your neighbors and friends and people you work with are black.
Yeah.
I had less problems dating a black person in South Carolina from like people in South Carolina
Right.
than I did from people up north.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's just this. I don't know
It's
how
this
to
idea.
explain it.
It's sort of this stigmatism that's given to the South. That, like I said, I've
Yeah.
lived here since I've been like a little kid, and we grew up playing with. I played with all kids of all different colors, and there was never anything. There was never any division or anything like that. There was never like, we, I've never told I can't play with those kids over there because they're black. You know what I'm saying? There was never any type of racism going on. Is there people that, there's some stupid people like that, but you don't associate with those people, whatever, it's like, I'm sure there are,
Exactly.
but you can't legislate.
Were the asshole.
You can't legislate what people think. You can't legislate that.
No.
People are going to be that. In fact, I think all these laws and all this stuff that they're doing now is dividing us even more and creating more racism than ever before. How about that? You cannot mandate these types of things. Like pointing all this stuff out and trying to make everything racist is creating more racism. Like that's what it's doing.
You can't. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. Because I don't always pay attention to Fox News and their bullshit, and I don't pay attention to MSN. Basically, I've just shut off that shit, and I've paid more attention to actually people who are like, here, I'm in the streets, or I'm trying to educate myself, or people who are actually, trying to look at history and stuff like that. And what you have to conclude to is that the system of trying to divide us is literally something that has been placed on us by the top. If you want to call it the corporate state or whatever, it's much better for them if we hate each other rather than combine together and say, no, really, most of our issues are because you're stealing, you're basically stealing off. I mean, they got $5 trillion and we got 1,200. I mean, once you look at that type of juxtaposition, like you can't even look at a politician like they're going to anybody who signed on that or agreed to those care acts or any of that stuff, and it didn't care for anybody or take care of anybody. They called one the CARE Act and one the HOPE Act. Does anybody feel cared for? And does anybody have hope? Hell no.
Well,
so,
that's the thing is they create all these. Listen, what they're doing though is by pushing all this out there. This racial division to keep us divided. Well, it's all divide and conquer. It's so that we never come together. And by doing this and bringing all this, listen, it is there is no what they call it. I can't say it. Systemic or wait a minute. There is no
systematic.
I can't say that word. Systemic racism. I don't believe in that bullshit. I don't believe that there's just people out there. Like I know there are a few groups, a few individuals that might be that way. So what? All right, the rest of us are just trying to live every day. Nobody is getting up every day thinking, how am I going to screw over, some other race? Nobody is doing that.
Individually as human beings, we're just way too busy. And the fact that there's so many people without a job right now, and there's so many, I mean, this is going to turn into like a rent strike / work strike. I mean, it's going to go pushing past the BLM because the kids on the street kind of understand it and they don't really have much of a shot anyway. So they have to do something or they're not going to have a future. I mean, how many 30-year-olds can keep on living with their freaking parents and not even be able to afford to get married? So I see that from the younger ones. I see the older people falling into this bullshit of, they're changing out Jemima. Yeah, of course, PepsiCo, which owns everything. I mean, where's our antitrust laws? Do you know how much PepsiCo owns at this point?
Nestle,
Quaker, they own this, they own that.
Nestle
There's
Corporation,
a monopoly,
all of them,
right?
Yeah.
And of course, the corporation is going to do. Aunt Jemima is racist, so we're going to change it. Now all you got is older white people like, oh my God, I like Aunt Jemima so much. Well, could you?
Well, I just think it's just.
Pepsi's poison.
Well, I'm just saying, like they point out this stuff, but there's.
Now to the Jemima.
Listen, there's more. Listen, there's more stuff to worry about than changing the name of Aunt Jemima. Okay, there's more real issues
Exactly.
but
Stop
those don't
eating the
get
shit in the
those
first place.
never those don't even get brought up. That's the problem. I mean, we have so many things in this, like they just want to bring up all these like talking points that have nothing to do with anything you and I deal with on a daily basis. We don't, honestly, I don't care that they want to change Aunt Jemima. I don't even buy Aunt Jemima mix. Yeah, I said it. I know I'm a racist.
But as far
Okay,
as
I don't buy it.
systemic racism,
All right.
as
Huh?
far as systemic racism, like individually, no, you and I are just walking down the street. I kind of call it like lately, like we're the avatars. We got dropped into Fortnite, and you don't know who's on what team. You don't know the situation. You don't know who's got what going on. You just got dropped in, and you got to figure it out, right? So here we were, we dropped in. We got to figure it out. We were just trying to figure it out, and we don't get a choice of our parents, our what country, what I mean, I don't know, maybe we did, but as far as I'm aware, we don't know. We just you got shot out, and now you got to deal with where you are and what you are. So individually, yes, we're all just trying to do our best and run the rat race that we were thrown into. But if you start looking at the system, yes, it was created in it's such a mess. Like, I mean, this just keeps on feeding back. Like, okay, so you have these drug wars and then you started the crime bills, and I mean, all this stuff is like, I'm like, and then they try to say like, with the political aspect of it all, I'm like, okay, so on one side you've got Trump, and on the other side you've got a demented, racist, segregist fool who actually did create the crime bill and change the bankruptcy laws so that students can't get out of their debts from college. And like all these things.
All of it's a lie. All these movements are lies anyway. Well, listen, like it goes back to like, no child left behind. Well, nobody wants to leave children behind. No child was being left behind. I mean, if they're, what I'm saying, like, so they mandate that, all the schools have to teach a certain way, and that just screws up the learning in it screws up the learning system that we have in place, where you take away the individuality, you take away the individual from the person and the teachers to do their jobs, and you literally mandate that they have to teach a certain way. Like, that's crazy. It's just like, listen, and nobody goes around thinking like Black lives don't matter. Okay, so this is this whole idea that again, they're creating more and more division because they're pumping more and more of this idiocracy out on the airwaves every night. People are seeing it, and they feel like this is a separation. It's not bringing us together. This is, and you can say all you want about protesting, and that's not helping. None of it. It's all really dividing America at its core. Okay. And on top of that, now we're going to go through this. We're still going to see a huge backlash from the Corona thing, with businesses, closing up and failing. There's going to be less jobs. It's going to get a lot worse. We're going to move. It's
going to be an economic issue really soon.
Yes. Yes, it will be.
And that's why I said, when you see younger, every color out there saying we're getting screwed massively and we know who it is and who to blame, I think you got to just turn off the old people who, I know they vote and shit, but who cares? I mean, honestly, we have no selection as it is. The only way you're going to get a little bit of rumbling is maybe from the streets or education or whatever. And I see younger people, they do come together. Whether you like the whatever, they are pretty joined together. And,
yeah. Well,
that's a good thing. And that's just history moving on. Like, grandparents had the civil rights thing, and we started dating whoever, and we got mutts for kids all of a sudden, so how do you even position those people into a category anymore? This person's half and this person's half of this or a quarter of that. It's just becoming mutated at this point. So it'll turn, because people, like in July, the protections of people not getting evicted are basically ending, as well as the extra $600 on the unemployment. All these things are going to become. It's going to be an ugly summer.
Yeah, no, it's only getting worse and worse.
And my little liberal self, have been thinking about getting a gun myself, because I live in Florida and it's crazy down here.
I don't. Whether you're a liberal or a
Crazy.
conservative, you should always have the right to protect yourself and your home, right? Like I feel like there's
Well, I
nothing
don't know how
wrong
to
with
use
that.
one, so I'm like, I need
Oh,
to go to a gun range and make sure I know how to shoot one,
sure.
take care of one,
Yes.
and have
Right.
one. And,
Well, don't be like a
like, I
typical
can't-
liberal. Don't be like, okay, now I need to put the bullets over here. And no, you keep it somewhere locked and loaded so
put it
you
under
can
your-
get to,
you put
but keep
under
it
your-
high
you
enough
put
so
pillow.
kids can't get to it. Okay. Don't,
Like,
all I'm saying
I
is
will
don't be
have-
like,
I will
don't
have
be
a
like some of
field
those
permit.
liberals that are like, well, we have a gun, but we got to keep the lock on it. Plus, we got to keep the bullets over. Dude, that's not going to work for you. You're not going to be able to get all that
Hell no.
crap. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, put it all together. All right. Put it up
if
high.
I went all gun in, it
Yeah.
would be concealed. I'd have
All
a
gun
concealed
in.
permit and everything.
Oh, okay. Girls like ready to bust a cap. Okay, gotcha. Hey, man.
I live mid Florida, and if I need
Uh-huh.
to get out of this semi-island like state, I probably have to shoot my way out.
Right, dude. And it's
I have
anywhere.
any plans of getting out of this place alive.
Oh my
I
God,
really need to
Florida is
and my
yeah.
son, because he's 15,
shifty.
I was like, let's go to a shooting range and start learning how to use guns because I think we're going to need them.
That's pretty rough. When the liberals, are like, when the liberals are like, I need a gun. Things are getting bad. Yeah, like yeah. I understand. I completely get you. Like I'm in Texas, so having a gun is like having a second car in Texas. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things.
Vermont, there was a lot of like rifles and stuff, but I never
Yeah.
went hunting. So like
right.
I wasn't what I was more. I mean, I was farmish, but I wasn't like, oh yeah, let me get up real early and go out hunting for a deer. Like, no, y'all can handle that.
I always thought hunting was kind of gay, and because it seemed weird to me because with some dude, you're in the,
and like all like emotional and stuff,
right?
Like maybe you get if one of these idiots actually shoot a deer the entire deer season, it'll be an amazing thing. Most of the time they're just sitting out there.
Hey.
No, let me just explain. Okay, the whole thing sounded ridiculous to me. Like,
You
so
guys don't know how to hunt this
feeder. Hey, no, I know how it works. Okay, all right. They set up a feeder so the deer come back to the feeder all the time. So you basically sit in a blind about 300 yards away with a sniper scope, and you sit there all day hoping the deer come back. And then when the deer comes back, you shoot him. Okay, but you're there. You can't talk. You got to be real quiet. You just sit there with some dude named Bubba waiting for the deer. It just seems weird to me. Like I was like,
you hate it. No, that is not how it happens. You build a cabin in the woods. All your friends come up drinking. Deer wanders by. You shoot it. You split it. You eat it. And everyone shares the deer. So everyone's freezer is always full of meat. And it's delicious.
Okay. Well, see, that's the thing.
Yeah, we don't
like,
have freezers full. I didn't go hunting.
I would say this. Okay, like I would go hunting if it was something I wanted to eat. Like if I was but I've never been big on. I like fishing. I do love some fishing. I love fish. Yeah, I like some fresh fish. It's delicious. Nothing wrong with catching some fish and eating some fish.
Oh my God.
Most of the time I throw them back.
I like by the lake.
Oh yeah, right there by the lake, fried up. Oh my God, yum.
So
it's the best. Good. I know.
You can't get fresher. I mean, it's just amazing taste. Like you don't have you don't need seasoning. It's so freaking good.
Oh man, I love me some fresh fish. Now see, I was invited to go hunting, and they were like, dude, they thought I was crazy because they didn't really. I was like, I'm just really not big on shooting Bambi. I just don't want to do it because number one, I don't have room for all that deer meat anywhere. Like, and two,
well, you have the extra freezer in the basement, don't you?
No, we don't have basements. No, it's Texas. We don't have basements.
Yeah. And you know what? Our deer are scrawny down here too. Like, I mean, a real buck up there is like a good deal. Like, you get a lot of meat. It will feed like one deer. Like my brother-in-law will get like one deer, and the freezer will be full for the rest of the winter. So it'll feed their family. Good deal.
Yeah. Well, look, I know people that like to. I know hunters. I know hunters that go out and they bag a deer, and then if you know them, you get to reap the benefits of all that work that they did, basically, because people love to share the deer that they bagged, right? So you get the deer jerky, you get some deer sausage, and it's great. Okay, I mean, in small portions, it's fine. I'm okay with. I just just don't like
My
eating
sister
deer
takes
that
the
much.
ground deer meat and put it into her spaghetti sauce instead of like a hamburger meat, and you wouldn't even notice it. So
Some people, Jennifer Lambert says,
there's
you got
technique.
meth. What is a meth deer? What is that? Is that what we have in Texas? Meth deer? Our deer are kind of scrawny. Up in the northern states.
Yeah,
that when I was up in Ketchum, oh my God! For the Mandela conference, man, the elk and those are some big, robust animals.
I want a moose. I want a moose because I've heard those taste good.
No, moose is it's
We didn't really have any moose down.
I heard moose was not that good.
It was like further up in Vermont. I was in southern Vermont, so we didn't really have too many moose spottings. And if we did see one, we just kind of like let it go because it was a rare sighting. It's like a rare bird, So
I'm ready. I'm ready to hunt if I have to hunt. If it comes down to the point where I got nothing else to do. I gotta eat.
Out there if I have to. I'm like,
hey, girl, I'll cook up a squirrel. Don't. Hey, so,
rat with a bushy tail.
Hey, our squirrels are too. We got all the scrawny animals down here in Texas. We don't have the big, fat, plump animals they got up north. They do. They have nice flat. Their raccoons are bigger.
They got
everything. They got big stuff up there. Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do down here in Texas. We do have a lot of fishing. We have a lot of lakes, so we'll be okay. I can definitely eat fish. So. If that happens, but no, honestly,
we need to start thinking about a plan. Like, where does everybody meet up that's not crazy? Who has land someplace up in the mountains that's away from
I don't know. I think we just do
hunt and fish. Does anybody live in West Virginia with lots of land or something? I mean,
I think we just get on a boat and take over Epstein Island.
Oh yeah, it's free, right?
I mean, it's free. I mean, it's there. I mean, nobody's there now.
Does it have anything to eat on it?
Oh, well, maybe not. No, I don't have to bring.
It's not that big.
Yeah, I know. We could fish. We could do some fishing.
I don't think Amazon's going to drop off packages if the world is fine.
Yeah, probably not. No, I don't. You're probably right about that. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe Florida will just, maybe some new island, close to Florida will shift. And there'll be something new out there that we can live on.
You know what they're doing? Like, okay, so this whole Corona bullshit. Oh God, it's driving me crazy.
Is it?
Okay, so Florida's becoming a hot spot. Well, you know what's happening is that people are having to go back to work and stuff. So before they go back to work, they have to get tested. Well, these tests are unreliable. You can't believe half the shit. So somebody comes up positive, even though they're not even sick in line, right? Mm-hmm. So then they have your address and everything, and then they put you in the hotspot zone. So people who are paying attention to their hotspot, their zone or their zip code.
Is there an app?
Oh, no, it's on the rise. So then
do they have an app for that? They're going to have an app. So when you walk into a zone, watch, it'll go off. Your phone, your app will be like, woot, woot. Like you've just entered the Corona hot zone. Sorry.
So now when a zip code goes hot, all of a sudden everybody in that zip code goes and stands in line to go get a freaking test.
Really? This is like,
half of gonna have
this is like the terror alert.
Why are you in line for something you're not even sick for that you can't trust the test for?
It's the terror alert all over again. It's another way, because in Texas, we've been kind of a little more lax than the rest of the country. But now they just showed, the news told us, your Texas is bad. It's going hot again. Corona's on the rise in Florida too, because you guys are letting people on the beach.
Doing that, but
yeah.
There's just that few oh my God, freak out people that are causing those tests to spike because we can't really rely on the test because of course they want to set a narrative. But I'm like, instead of looking at how many people just tested positive, can you check out the hospital that has no new patients? So if this is even either they're very asymptomatic, they got in line, they're not even sick, they're just let's test it out, blah blah blah. I'm like, you can't. They're just not a reliable test. I mean, the guy, like the president from the African country, sent in like goat spit and freaking peach fuzz or whatever, and it tested positive. I mean, how can you?
Nobody believes those numbers.
Anything the government's telling you.
Nobody's believing the numbers.
Now they're
I'm
talking
sorry.
about like, oh, we're gonna have to start putting masks on when we go into Florida, and we haven't done that the whole damn time.
Whatever,
the whole
man.
time.
They want you.
Time. Nobody's wearing that. Like a few people
Because-
wear masks inside,
yeah.
or the people who work there would have to wear the mask. But now all of a sudden they're trying to say, oh, well, this city, if you're in this city, you're going to have to start
I hate
whatever.
the
But
mask.
the police chief, of course, they have this juxtaposition of the police just like, we're not enforcing it. So if someone don't have a mask on, we're not stopping them, we're not fining them, and we're not going to do a damn thing because you know what? We got the blue flu. So it's like this crazy thing where like they're trying to enforce this like masking and corona thing, but the police are like, fuck y'all.
Oh my God. I just thought of something.
Interesting thing.
Yeah. Dean, high anxiety brought this. I was like thinking, today's daily hot pocket corona report. Yeah, I could, see
my
that,
God.
right?
I'm like,
Yeah. Hot
and
pocket.
like I kind of said to everybody, like,
Uh-huh.
okay, do we report on the flu like this? Because this is basically supposedly a little bit worse than like
Oh
the
God.
regular flu.
It's not.
Maybe,
It's
like,
the
we have
flu is
flu.
worse. Okay, I'm going to say this for the record. The flu is worse than this. I've seen more people sick from the flu around me
Exactly.
in my, you know what I mean? Like just people you meet, whatever,
Exactly.
than I've ever seen with coronas.
even
And the
flu
corona is
season.
supposedly blowing up. Yeah,
Not even flu season.
whatever. It's nuts.
And like I said, these people that are sitting in line getting tested are doing so either because their work is telling them they have to get tested, either like every once in a while because they're like in like restaurant or whatever service industry, so they're just making them go get tested every maybe once a month or whatever, make sure they haven't gotten anything, or they're just about to start to open the office and want to make sure that nobody's coming into the office that might be sick or whatever. But I'm telling you, these people who are in lines and stuff like that, like most of them are not sick. Why? Because the hospitals are not spiking. They're doing surgeries again. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
women are going in and having babies and stuff. So that's where you could, I mean, if you really think that something's surging or going crazy or people are just like dying massively or whatever, you have to look at the actual, like what's happening at the hospital. And I'm not talking about the nursing home or whatever, because, it apparently does attack the older people, but older people, no matter what, if you get pneumonia, it's going to be a hard row. I mean, you could get the pneumonia from like a flu or something, or just walking around or whatever. I mean, it's going to be tough to come back from. So,
Right. Well, I think it sucks what they're doing, in my opinion,
right now.
is they put everybody behind, right? So like now I had a little tooth issue again.
Yeah.
So I called my dentist up, and they're not seeing people right now, right? So I called my other dentist,
Right.
and he's booked up until July. Like it's like it's hampering the system. Yeah, everything's so either people aren't even going back, seeing people in certain situations, and depends. It's a state to state thing. Obviously, some states are more open to getting back to business. Texas, I thought, was going to be okay, but I'm finding out that a lot of people are behind on patients and seeing patients and stuff like that. So that's becoming an issue.
Well, there's a lot of things that are behind, like people's rent. Oh, here's another stupid idea or whatever. Like they're all like, okay, yeah, we won't do evictions, we won't do anything. We'll let it go for 3 months. I said, well, just because in 3 months you open everything up, do you think everybody collected money in that in between time? I mean, some people haven't even gotten their unemployment from the first time that they filed in March and stuff. And I mean, I know somebody, like two people that worked at Disney World who were when they closed March. When did they close? I think they closed March 15th. Was when Disney closed, and so then they filed for unemployment, and they still haven't gotten it today.
Well,
I mean, that's a long time to go.
In my opinion,
$1,200 in between.
I don't think anybody should be going to Disney, but that's just me. I wouldn't be going. I'm not taking my
They're
kids
opening up July 1st.
to the pedophile playland. No thanks.
Well, okay, so I mean, I wouldn't go to any of these parks. I mean, can you imagine walking around a park all day long with a mask on? I mean,
Oh,
it's hot
God.
enough as it is blazing hell.
No, I can't imagine going to Six Flags.
Daily.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here in Texas, we have
it's like
Six
paying me
Flags.
to go to Disney
It's
right
all
now.
concrete. It's all concrete, man. It's hot as hell.
Yeah.
There's no way. Yeah. No, no,
Uh-uh.
no, no.
I,
If they're
I
making
don't
people
like to
wear,
go to Disney anyway, so.
well, it's so stupid. Like,
You put a
wow.
mask on me? Hell no. And
Yeah.
then it rains halfway through the day because you know how it is in summer. Like it's got to rain at like 2 or 3, so it's going to be drenching downpour. So what? You got to have a mask, a soggy mask on, a stupid little like poncho, and hell no, hell no.
Mm.
Literally, they would
So,
have to pay me to go and smile
yeah.
for their commercials.
Yeah. No, I get it. And I'm not that keen on what's taking place with having to mask everybody. But of course, some places I'm okay. I'll tell you what, I will extend the olive branch and say, I'll wear if a place wants me to wear a covering that's cotton over the face that I can breathe through, I have no problem with that. Okay, but I will not do that N95 mask. That thing is nasty.
No.
Can't stand that thing. Ugh.
Mm-mm.
And I see people
No,
wearing that all the
thing
time.
is brutal.
It's just
That thing, like,
it's just brutal
that's brutal.
seeing my classmates with that, crap on their face, and some wear it, some don't.
I mean, I find it hilarious that these masks are supposed to be doing so much protections when they're just like over the. I mean, I barely ever see any one of those N95 masks, anyways, right? It's mostly this papery thin whatever that you'd get like a nurse doctory type of thing, just like general whatever. And it's it's got, everybody's been wearing them for so long or whatever because they've got their like 2 or 3 that they go through. That the elastic's all loose and there's like big gaping holes on the side. I'm like, what is this even protecting anymore? Half the people are wearing it down like where their nose is exposed so they can breathe. I've got my mask on, but I can't breathe, so I got to pull it down over underneath my nose so I can breathe in.
Oh no, you have no idea.
It's so hilarious.
I got you. And okay, this is how psycho they are right now. Okay, let me just share my story with you. Okay, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I have to share the story. So I'm in class, and I'm doing my work, and it's a technical college I'm going to, but they make you wear the mask. Okay, and then the teacher came around and he's like, everyone must wear the N95. And I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna have a problem with this, man. I know I am. But I put this stupid thing on and we have to wear safety glasses. But the thing gets so hot in your face, it starts steaming up my glasses, my safety glasses. So I started pulling the glasses off and wiping them out so I could see. And I had an issue, right? And so at first they were like, hey, you need to wear your safety glasses. I'm like, hey, man, I can't see, So at some point, where does, common sense has to override just the rules. At some point, if I can't see my work and what I'm doing, how am I supposed to be able to do what I'm supposed to do? So I'm having this issue. He's kind of being a hard ass, telling me to put him back on. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm having trouble, with my vision. And, I said, it's this mask you're making us wear. Because before that, it was a covering. But while we were walking around we weren't really walking around. We were pretty much at our workstations, which are 6 feet apart and all that stuff. So essentially, I found out later, we don't have to wear the N95. Like, they're wrong for forcing that on the students, right? So anyway, I get pulled out of class. I tell them the issue. At first, they're like, no one else is having an issue. And then they're looking at me as my glasses start fogging up. And they're like, oh, wow, your glasses are fogging up. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. What do you think is going on here? I'm not lying to you all. I'm not making this. It's not like I don't want to wear my PPE. That's the new
everybody
thing.
with glasses has that problem.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So yeah, because some of the stuff that I'm doing, I have to measure out stuff in the thousandths of an inch, and I have to see these little tick marks on a ruler, essentially, right? And I have to measure stuff out, for the work that I'm doing. And so sometimes I have to put the reading glasses on and then a set of goggles over the reading glasses. And then the mask, you got all this shit on your face and you can't hardly do your job, and it's just annoying as hell. So the next day, class ends, I had one issue. Apparently, I wore the shit all day. I tried to make the best out of it because I was going to get some some reading safety glasses, sort of a combination thing, so I wouldn't have to take them off so much. And they were anti-fog, so I ordered some off Amazon. Okay, so I get there the next day, and they pull me out of class. They have me wait. They tell me that they said the PPE is going to be an issue, so we need you to clear your locker out. They were going to kick me out of school over the fogging issue. Okay, over
that they created.
That they created by forcing me to wear that stupid mask. That, by the way, I found out wasn't necessary. Okay, because it's sort of a mandatory. Like you don't. It's not mandatory. You can choose to wear it if you want. So then I clear out my locker. I walk out the door. There are 2 police cruisers waiting for me in the parking lot. This is how psycho they are over this stuff. I mean, like over a fogging issue, man. I had the police waiting for me. God, I'm like, really? With all the crap that's going down right now, with cops and everything, you got like, I wasn't stealing. I wasn't threatening anybody. I mean, like, this is how I get treated. Oh my God. It's unreal. Over a mask, dude. This is how psycho the world's gotten. I'm telling you. So then I called HR the next day, and the lady in HR was like tripping out. Like, they did what? They called the cops. She was like, oh my God. She goes, how about we just move you to the first shift? And that way, you can go first shift and go through training instead of second shift. And I was like, that's fine. No problem for me. So I went there. That's why my schedule is so off. And that's why I couldn't do the show Friday night, because I'm just tired. I'm trying to get acclimated to the new schedule, because that's in the morning. So that's what happened to me. That's why I got moved. I didn't tell the story. That was the first time I've told it to, my audience. But it's nuts, man, how crazy people are over this. And for me, it's
matter shirt at the same time.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Or 9/11 was an inside job or something. Or some kind of, conspiracy shirt. Yeah. I'm just like, man, this is getting so out of whack, our world. And like, people taking things like to some extremes that make no sense at all. I mean, like, seriously, you guys are so freaked out that you had to call the police as I left the building. Like, what the hell is that all about? Right. And so anyway, to make a long story short, everything's been fine. And I'm just going, doing the day shift. So it's something I had to deal with regarding the corona, and the new regulations that are out there.
It's insane.
What are you gonna do?
You got dropped into it.
Yeah, it's
but you know
it's
what?
one of those
I've
things.
been actually going backwards, and like I watched. I don't watch too many documentaries because I feel like sometimes they're a little bit biased. Because you can always turn history or whatever. But I just happened to watch the Bobby for Kennedy. And as much as I think there's crazy shit going on, back then there was some really crazy stuff that was going on back then too. I mean, when they actually had riots, they pretty much burned the whole city, and when the cops were beating them up, they may not have been in riot gear, but they were doing beating and using live rounds, and then they would just like off you if they didn't like what you were saying. So I don't know.
What was this documentary?
I think each time period has some craziness. It
was
called, Bobby for President or whatever, but basically
Bobby Kennedy.
He was kind of, under his brother, and then as the senator, and then running for president. I mean, the things that he was saying, like if he had become president and had passed some of them, I think we probably would have had a kinder world today. And so they didn't even let him get past the California primary. He won, and he got shot.
Right. Well, come on, man. I mean, obviously.
And that was the same year they killed Martin Luther King, and it wasn't too much longer after that they killed Malcolm X, and they killed him when he started talking about coming together and not being so militant against white people. And you know what's weird about him? Malcolm X was half white and half black. He had a white father and a black mother, so that was just like. I think he had like issues just dealing with himself and his identity. And later on in life, he started like coming around to the idea of like, no, we should be working together. And so once he started saying working together,
oh wow, you can't.
Shot him.
you see, that's once again, you start bringing, you want to, find a common ground between white and black, or any of the races in this world, so that we
Any
come
race,
together and we all agree. We can't have that. That's why we are forced into a political system of two choices instead of more. I mean, like, why is there only two after all? No, there's no way we think one way or the other way. That's just not, but it's forced on us by the media, to think a certain way, because
Yeah.
they hype everything up and dramatize everything so that we feel sort of triggered one side or the other, right? So it's easy to you just stay in that loop. We stay in that cycle. And the truth is, if you really talk to people on the left or right, they all have multiple views, and it's not
Similar
always constant.
issues.
Yeah, sure. I mean, and there's a lot of things with the system that are just wrong. It was never meant to be a career politician type thing. It was supposed to be somebody who's worked in the system for a while, who's may have you're older, you want to help out.
It was originally a landowner representation. I mean, basically, landowners would come in off the farms. That's why they only have like basically a spring or a fall. They
but even like, going back as far as like
farmer type people that were running but the country when it was first made or created, we only had. I often think that our country is a little too big. There's so many like. Or a regional issue that we have in the Southeast is just so different than something that's happening out West. And sometimes I just think that's, it's not, you look at some of these European countries, they're able to do certain things, but they're like the size of Texas.
Right.
When California itself is like the 7th or 6th largest GDP in the whole entire world, that kind of gives you some context of like, this is a large country and it's hard to get everybody happy at the same time, or to deal with all the issues that you should be dealing with, like same issues, and
we've
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's a little too big, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it.
Well, I believe government is too big.
Not being the United States anymore.
Yeah, I think that we have too many situations where the government tries to assert its power and thinks that it can fix everything by putting more money into something that they typically always fail at. They never seem to get the best prices, get the best out of people when you're, socializing everything. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, a true
government is so fraudulent. I mean, think about it. Like, it would be great to have Medicare for all, and I still would prefer a system where everybody has access to health care.
We could have access to health care.
Seniors, Medicare fraud is like one of the biggest issues of our cost.
Sure.
Is these doctors being scummy scammers. Like, like you would think that everybody in Miami has AIDS as much as it makes the statistics go off really, whatever. But basically every senior citizen in Miami has got to have AIDS. But it's a scam that they run through Medicare to get money. But none of these people have AIDS. They're just running a scam. And I'm like, but then it looks like statistically when they say, oh, well, Florida's running a gambit on AIDS. I'm like, not really. You're just scamming Medicare. You know what you're doing. There's nothing, like, there's no industry in Florida. So it's just a bunch of scams, like real estate scams, Medicare scams.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I remember the timeshare scams in Florida were big back in the day. Remember that? Come on, man, go get your timeshare, and then you pay for it, and it's a swamp somewhere, like swampland. Like you got to wrestle an alligator just to pitch a tent. It's like it was a sham all the way. It sucked. Hey, let me let you go, sweetie, because I got. Huh? Oh, sorry.
Now you have to pay a lawyer to try to get out of those things, so that's another scam.
I'm sure it's just bad. Yeah, that's why people just hang up the phone when you get these calls. Like, no, forget it. No, I totally hear you on that. But yeah, let me let you go so I can grab the next caller. But thanks for being the first one tonight, and appreciate the call in. And you have a great night. Okay.
All right. Night.
All right. Take care, hon. All right. That was Glowing's me. And yeah, great to hear from her. Also, we have a few birthdays, right, Fizzy? I just saw Abruptly Awaken's birthday. Just
Yep.
came up.
And Spencer's
Okay.
mustache and my cat.
Spencer and your cat. Are you sure it's a birthday, or is that when you got the kitten?
It's when we got her, but since
Uh-huh.
she was just dropped off, we don't know when she was actually born. So
Okay.
we just celebrate
Cool.
the day we got her. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I just want to make sure that we were on the same page. That's all. I just, just for clarification, I had a feeling you didn't exactly weren't there at the birthing of the kitten.
I was at the other one.
Were you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kept one of her kittens.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
cute. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what did you celebrate a cat's birthday for real?
Yeah, she gets ice cream on her birthday. She loves it. Just vanilla.
Put a candle in there too? Do you light it?
No, just put it in a bowl.
No.
If she
Oh, and
eats
just
stuff like that all the time, she'll get sick. So I just give her every once in a while.
oh, I didn't know if there was some special like and then you maybe give her a bag of nip, let her go to town.
She just
You know.
had catnip for Mother's Day, so.
Oh, she did. Oh, okay. That is cat drugs. I'm sorry. It needs to be regulated, I think.
Yeah, do you want to share a picture of her real quick on the nip? It's hilarious.
Yeah, let's see what she looks like on the nip. I've been saying for years that this is nothing but cat drugs.
And this is the happy birthday cat. Here we
Okay.
go.
Mm.
And send it.
Let's give it a look here.
Her eyes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought I would see. There it goes.
Kelly.
There she is right there. That is one nipped out cat. You can
Happy birthday, Belle.
let's be honest. And, in all honesty, if one of us were walking down the street looking like that, we'd be arrested and tased or tased and arrested. There's no
But
doubt
it's
about it.
funny.
I know it is. Everyone
She
likes
loves
dinner.
it so much.
High on nip. I know. Yeah, you can't blame me. I don't give my cat the nip because she's already so weird anyway. It's like I don't need to make her any
Yeah.
weirder.
Well, some of them it calms them down, and it depends on the cat, really.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Let me go ahead and get to the next caller here. Peoria, Illinois is up next. Peoria, you're on with Scare Performance. What's on your mind tonight?
Hey, how's it going, man? This is Nate.
Nate, hey, how's it going, man? How are you doing, sir?
It's good.
Hmm.
Life's good. Family's good. Wife's good. Kids are good.
That's great.
Blessed, man, for sure. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just was enjoying your first call, the last caller, especially when you guys were kind of talking about division and this kind of seemingly unseen force, whatever it is, that wants us as a human race to be divided.
Yes.
Because this is actually something I've been kind of, I don't know, I felt like God, the Lord has been kind of zeroing it and wanting me to zero in on last couple of weeks, actually. And I don't know, I just wanted to get your thoughts on. I mean,
yeah,
to me, I think it's obvious as far as, that there is some kind of goal from some kind of, I want to say evil force or whatever that wants us to be divided, that doesn't want us as humans to come together as one, which, if that's true, which I believe it is, I think you believe it is. So what's the counter? What's the solution? How do we combat that?
These Saturnian lizards want us to completely and utterly be divided any way they can, by religion, by color, by sex. It doesn't matter, man. They use every divisive tactic in the book, and because of social media is so powerful, it literally shapes our minds to look at this stuff, and we don't even realize we're being programmed a lot of times. And that's what I've been saying for years, is that that tool that they use is so damn powerful. It can literally make people do things and act a certain way because we literally are getting information from it that tells us how to be in this world instead of you being you. It is a tool that's being used to divide 100%. And I feel like, you know, looking at it now, to me, it's completely obvious. Now, I would imagine that most of my audience can see it as well, and they understand this. You know, I'm preaching to the choir right now on this matter, but it is absolutely true, man. And you know, I think that if we were able to really speak on a platform that wasn't controlled, but every aspect of media is controlled, in my opinion. Almost everything that we see on that damn television is contrived. Every news broadcast where they say they're on location is a lie. Every time they have somebody, you can see the freaking green screen behind them, man. They're just in studio. You know, I mean, it's all a lie. It's all a sham. And so, you know, people believe it. I was like, they're just making crap up, man. I mean, in all honesty. And once again, it's just this whole racial stuff that's happening, everything we're seeing is dividing us more so than bringing us together. Just because you're going to change a box of Wheaties or change a box of, you know, whatever, Aunt Jemima, whatever you're going to do, that's not going to help, you know, ease the tensions. What will ease the tensions if we finally get away from social media and start once again communicating like normal people, sitting down at the table, you know, breaking bread together, talking about these issues. And you'll find most people can come to common ground on their own. We don't need the media or anybody or government officials telling us what to think or how to act. And I think that that's what really needs to happen. But until we all decide to completely separate and realize how toxic, you know, mainstream media is, it'll never happen. Okay, because it's so powerful and people are still drawn to it, you know. And yeah, it's a tough situation we're in because we are literally locked into the beast system right now, watching it every day, all of us. And that's why when all this craziness started happening, man, that's why I really stepped away from the social media side of it, because I knew that emotionally it's easy to get caught up in it all, right? So that's why I didn't want to do was get caught up in something that I I spoke too soon about, or you know, didn't have time to really digest it properly, and then I come out with a wrong message, and then you know that doesn't look well for me. So I did that, but I think most people now are starting to realize, you know, how toxic everything is in this world and how it is all created to divide us. And I think you bring up a really good point. What are your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, well, I think for one thing, one of the strongest weapons that the dark side, the negative side has had for thousands of years is the use of religion, because even Christianity, it's been skewed to look like something that it's not. Like the way Christianity even portrays Jesus Christ and his life and who he is, mm-hmm. and who we are in Christ, mm-hmm. has been so skewed by religion, it's taken away from the truth. And so I believe the truth about Christ is the simplest thing that there is that exists in the universe. It's so simple because the truth is Christ is a spirit, and his spirit is in each one of us who are willing to believe this, who are willing to accept and agree on this. Mm-hmm. And that spirit of Christ is in each one of us, and it's connecting all of us across the whole globe, all humans, to where we actually are one. So it's his spirit connecting us all as one, and we are literally the body of Christ now. And he's the mind. Jesus Christ is our mind, and he flows in each one of us, and his mind, his spirit is revealing things to us each individually. And it's everyone's different. So we have our own differences. And so the way Christ speaks to us each individually is going to be different than how he speaks to someone else. But the main thing is to know that since Jesus Christ died on the cross and resurrected himself by the power of the Creator, God, the Creator, gave him the power to resurrect himself from the dead. And then he ascended into heaven 40 days later. And Jesus took his body out off the earth. He ascended into heaven and went up behind the clouds and was hidden behind the clouds and was gone and went into heaven. And then before that, he told his disciples to wait in the upper room, and he would send his Holy Spirit later. And then I don't know if it was a week later or 10 days later or something, Jesus sent the Spirit to the disciples. And so now, since then, that Spirit has been in all people that are willing to receive it. So since Jesus took his physical body out of here, out of earth, and went into heaven, he's saying now his new physical body is all people who desire this, who are ready and willing to receive this. We are now his body, and we're each different parts, different members of his body, fingers, foot, toe, because we're so different. But we're all equally important, because his body can't function without each and every part. And the body keeps growing the more people want to receive it and be a part of his body. He's ready right now to let all people in. And to me, this is everything, because it's the truth. It's the simplest explanation, and it's really what ties all of us together in the world that really does make us one. And it's all about love, and it's about loving each individual part.
For sure. And it's about truly coming into the Spirit and knowing God through the Spirit, and instead of through a book. Not that the book doesn't have some good guidelines to follow and a good message in it, in looking at the past and understanding things the way things used to be, and understanding how things may cycle back again, as we're seeing today. We're seeing a lot of that, and I think you're right. I think that like I said, when I was younger and I'd watch like these Christian shows on television, I wasn't even, I went to church when I was really young because I wanted to know God and I wanted to understand it, but I didn't understand the message there. And I certainly didn't understand the message on television. I felt like, as a, from a child's eyes, okay, from the purity of a child, listening to what they were saying, I didn't understand the God that they were talking about. Okay, my God was a loving God. Okay, they were talking about this God that was, vengeful and deceitful and hateful, and it would, that would smack you down in a whim. God I understood as God was a teacher, was patient, was loving. I mean, this was the God that I understood. Okay. And this is just from an internal standpoint of looking at things from a child's perspective. Okay. Feeling, the Holy Spirit at that point, and realizing that what these people were teaching people was fear, and that's not what God's about. And so I always thought that was really strange. And that's why I got away from it for a long time. And then looking back and coming to God in the Spirit, and, through prayer and getting reconnected, and literally having a situation where I felt like there were times where I had, it almost felt like, and I say this, people say, oh, God speaks to me and all this. I don't say that loosely. I mean, in a sense that, I felt like answers to my questions were coming, at times. And I'm not saying it always happens. It's not that at all. But there were certain times in my life where I needed clarification on things, and I got it, and there's of course, I've told the story about the the situation with the foot, and the pain I was under with the, having all these multiple gout attacks constantly. And I asked Jesus to heal me, and immediately stood up on the foot, and the pain was gone. Never experienced anything like that in my life. That was definitely a miracle in itself, a healing that I experienced. And I speak on that because, I only try to speak on things that I actually witness or know when it comes to, these spiritual matters. And I would say that, this stuff is out there. And I really think that the great deception, there's a part of the deception is that we don't realize how connected we are to the satanic world, that we don't understand the world that we're living in right now, how it is broken, and it is essentially, in my sense, in my idea, it is basically we are not, this isn't heaven. This is not God the Father disconnected this world, and we're here, okay, and we're here to learn and to understand. And I think that they're not doing enough in many of these faiths to speak on these matters. They want to, point out a lot of the beauty in this world and things like that is out there. But but you have to look at the whole scope of things and see what this is. And I think that we are disconnected in some ways, okay, while we're in the physical form, obviously, from our Heavenly Father. And so this is what the problem is. And people don't want to speak on those matters. They don't want to talk about the fact that this might be, in a sense, when they say, well, if you don't get connected, you'll go to hell. Well, what if that just means you're going to come back here? What if that saying is nothing more than, yeah, that makes sense. You'll just come back here. What if we're in a form of hell? In a sense, when you start to see how controlled this world is, and you start to look around you and realize that, there's a good possibility, like I said, it's not the one with the fire and damnation, but it's definitely a form of hell because of all the suffering that's here. Why would God, the Father, okay, want all this suffering? Well, he wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. We're part of something that we need to realize in order to get back to God. That's why Jesus said, that that's why he came here to get us to understand what we were a part of, and basically die for our sins. Okay, so the sins are paid for, and that's why that Bible reflects that today. So now the last thing, one of the main things that enslaves us all is the debt. I've been saying this for you. The money is obviously the root of all evil. Thus, the debt is a big problem. And, it's something they hold over us, this physical debt, which, and if you think about it, if you get on this, start really, going there, it starts to look a little weird. And you think about it, like, hold on a minute. I'm worried about physical debt, and you're an eternal being. You're of the Spirit of the Father. So why do you care about the physical debt of this world? But they make you believe it. They make you, they force it down your throat every day. They'll come get your stuff. They'll come let them take everything. Let them take all that physical crap. In the grand scheme of things, it matters not. None of it matters. I mean, of course you want to live comfortably, but that's how they keep you enslaved. They throw out the idea that you're gonna, that you're gonna perish on the streets and you're gonna die homeless and poor and this and that because you don't have your stuff. You don't have your physical belongings and all the debt that you acquire trying to keep up with this world. And in my opinion, that's not the way to live. You have to let some of that go and live more modest, have a more modest lifestyle. And that's the true message of Christianity, in my opinion, not this, prosperity gospel crap of, what God has given you a plane and all your lavish things in this world. Oh, I bet there is a God that will do that. I 100% know there is, but it's not God the Father, because you're living for the for the physical nature of this reality. Instead, your mansion should be in
Mhm.
heaven, right? So
Amen.
that's what I'm
Amen.
saying. Yeah, right. And so that's what I'm saying. These men are corrupt, and they got people believing it, even in Christian churches today. They're not real Christians. I'm sorry, they're not. And there's many
Right.
of them that are not, even today, even good ones that are out there that do just do good works every day, you know, that are good people. They're still not connecting on the spiritual side. They don't get into it over there. They don't talk about the spiritual nature of God the way they should. I mean, most of it's just a feel good message anyway. It's like going to it's like being a part of like a country club. You show up every Sunday, you drink some lattes, you sit around, talk, you do a little prayer, you do a little singing, and you leave. That's it. Nobody really gets into the nuts and bolts of our reality and what we're really attached to. That is a big problem. The lies, and nobody wants to talk about it. It's too difficult. That's not going to keep money coming into the collection plate. You know, my church, if I had a church and I was talking this stuff, a lot of people, it would be hard to hear. You know, it's not going to be easy for people to understand that, hey, we're, you know, things where we're at, you know, and the lies and deceptions we're a part of. This is a satanic world. We are part of Satan's cube, whatever that means. We're locked away. Okay, we're part of it. Although we're not, you know, as well, let's just put it this way. There are others out there that are part of this thing, in my opinion, as well. They're even more locked away than we are, but they're trying to open up the abyss to come into our realm of existence, in my opinion. And I think that there's a good possibility that they are controlling the world right now. You know, the things that were locked away a long, long time ago, the fallen, whatever you want to call them, they're still here. And they don't, you know what? They would rather, there's people who would rather reign in hell and, you know, and not go back. They're okay with it. And I think they understand it and they understand their plight. And that's why they're willing to just keep doing it, you know, while the rest of us, you know, keep us trapped here too, because we'll follow right along with them. And I'm sorry, but I'm here to tell you that that's not the way it's going to happen for me and hopefully many others out there, because I am not, I don't want to be a part of this world in a, you know, for another go around. I want to get back. I want to get back to God. I want to get back to heaven. I don't want to be, you know, here again in this lower vibrational world, living out another shitty, painful existence. You know what I'm saying? I think this is a learning process for many of us. And I think people need to wake up real fast and figure it out, because things are, you know, we're moving forward now. Things are coming to a precipice where it's going to be blatantly clear where you are. You're not going to need me to tell you. You will know. Okay. So just mark my words on that. It's definitely coming. All right. So there's that. But yeah, sorry, man. I get on the soapbox sometimes. Go ahead. What else did you have to say, brother?
No, it's good. Yeah, it's good. I agree. So yeah, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, I really started thinking about this whole, like, I don't know if I was on Facebook probably and just scrolling through and seeing all the division, you know, I hate Trump, I love Trump, or, you know, you better wear a mask. I don't want to wear a mask. There's all these things, right? So
yeah,
I'm scrolling through and then, you know, a few minutes later, I went in the kitchen and started washing dishes, and then washing dishes. I'm just thinking about this, like, why do we have to choose sides? You know, choosing sides, like, because I'll admit, you know, like, you know, I don't want to get into it or whatever, like what side I don't want to side. Like, I admit I tend to go to a certain side because I can see all the BS. So like, it's human nature to want to choose, like, even politically, like, are you for Biden or are you Trump? Like, I admit that I tend to go to one side, you know, but I'm realizing now I don't want to do that. I need to stay above that. And as I was washing dishes, I was thinking about all this, like, no, we don't need to choose sides, because the word of God says clearly, and I think we glaze over a lot, but in Galatians 3:28, it talks about how there's no Jew, there's no Greek, there's no bond person, there's no free, there's no male, there's no female, we are all one in Christ Jesus, and we have to focus. We have to hone in on that. And so I'm just thinking, like, yeah, we're all one. I don't want to choose a political side. I want to love Trump, and I want to love Biden equally, and I want to hope that for all the crap that Trump says and does, and all his sins, and I'm a sinner, he's a sinner, and Biden's a sinner. Like, we're all the same. We need to love each other equally, and we need to have hope that we all turn to Christ, and and we know that he forgives us, and we want to try to live that out. But again, so I'm thinking all this stuff about just being one and not choosing sides, and just knowing we're all on the same side. The worst person in the world, whoever that is, ISIS, or Saddam Hussein, or you think of Hitler, like, every single person has an opportunity, I believe, to come back to Christ, no matter what they've done, because that's the blood of Christ that cleanses us from all our sins, because we're all a sinner. But as I'm thinking all this, like, I'm washing dishes, and all of a sudden, this song, I'm playing music on my phone, and I had this total synchronicity event where on my music, I have 1,500 songs that I play randomly, and then all of a sudden, the Pink Floyd song "Us and Them" comes on. I think that speaks to it perfectly. I think that song's about war, and this whole idea of, like, why do we fight? Why do we have to have an enemy? Like, it's human nature, for us to think, man, religion. Like, for me, I grew up real religious in a religious family, and since I'm an adult now, I've been constantly, like, fighting anger towards them or whatever. Like, they're kind of the religion's kind of my enemy. But no, I don't want to have it. We don't need an enemy. There's no enemy. There's only us. There's no us and them. It's all up to us. And when we say, like, we're constantly saying it's who is they? Like, they're causing this evil, or they're dividing us. Who is they? Is it George Soros? Is he the most evil person? Is he in charge?
No.
To me, it's just he has.
Soros is a minion.
Come to the truth.
Yeah, he's a minion. Well, he's a minion that is well funded, right? But I believe there are those people, like, in I may be wrong about this, but the way I see it is there's just people that are imbued with the spirits of these, like literal demonic spirits, in a sense that they are doing their bidding. All right. And that's why they're so wealthy, and that's why they have all the power in this world, and things like that. Typically, when's the last time you've seen a real wealthy person be, honest to God, a good person, like, where they're really giving back, really trying to help humanity? Like, I don't think there's a lot of those people out there,
Yeah, I hear you. And one of Jesus's big things, one of his main points that he tried to stress was to tell us not to judge, because we have no idea what the future holds. All we know is what we have right now. And yeah, right now, George Soros and so many other, the Clinton Foundation and Bill Gates is questionable, and all this stuff. Like, right now, they look pretty bad, but it's not our place to judge. Like, we're human, just as I believe Bill Gates is human. I mean, I guess it's possible he's a reptilian, or he's a robot, or George Soros. Like, I have to assume that all these, quote, evil people, I have to assume that they're human just like me, and they're a sinner just like me, and therefore they have a chance to turn around. That they have a chance
well, they do.
To realize.
They do, but they would have to come out. They would have to come out with they would have to come out like if say Bill Gates just saw the light one day. Let's just say, for real, like, no bullshit, like, didn't, like, just came out and said, hey man, I've been been working for the dark side. I've been doing things that, he'd have to admit what he was doing, and all this, and shortly after that, we wouldn't hear from him again. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would probably take him out. He's so powerful.
Yeah.
He's so influential. You couldn't have a person like that.
But it's his soul.
Right.
but it's his soul that's important. And I don't know. I think that kind of lost my train of thought here. Let me gain it back.
So you were saying,
if they're not seeing it, if they're not seeing the light, to me, it's us. Like, going back to my original statement about us being Christ, like, I believe we are literally, whoever is ready to receive this truth right now, that all people, all of us, there's only us, and us is the body of Jesus Christ. So we are, all of us together, literally are Jesus Christ. And though if there's a they, an enemy, it's those people who don't know. To me, it's just a lack of knowledge that those people don't know that they are part of the body of Christ. And to me, it's our fault because we haven't shown them the light. So, and we need to show them this light. We need to show them, everyone, this love of Christ until, they flat out, continually reject it and say, no, I am literally a demon and I'm against Christ and I belong in hell. That's for them to decide. But see, the problem is there's all these people in between those worst of the worst and the good who are lost. There's so many people who are just don't know what to believe because they're seeing all this stuff on national media that's lies and this and that. Like, there's so many people who are just like are looking for the light, and we haven't done, as the body of Christ, we haven't done it because religion has screwed it up and has taken away from the truth, this truth that it's all right now, that it's available right now, and anyone can turn right now in this moment. You don't have to do anything. You just have to say, whoa, I realized that I messed up in the past. I didn't realize the truth. I rejected the truth. I'm sorry. I repent. And I'm ready right now to become a part of, and then the blood of Christ just washes over you, and it's his spirit that comes into us and just cleanses us, and we're eternally healed. And this, and then we realize that, yeah, we are in a messed up world, but it's like inside of me, I know what I carry. I carry Christ in me. So I carry heaven inside of me, and I'm actually a portal. So I have heaven inside of me, this new heaven, new earth inside of me, just trying to be released to the world around me, to all people around me, as I walk around this physical world that supposedly is controlled by the satanic realm. Well, here's the truth. Jesus already defeated Satan. That's what I think the biggest thing that we've forgotten as a human race, or don't realize it, is Satan's already been defeated. He has no power. Jesus Christ has all the power because he defeated Satan and the evil realms as soon as he rose himself up from the dead. He died on the cross, and then 3 days later, as soon as he came back to life, 3 days later, he said, well, Satan, you can't kill me. You can't keep me down. That's the ultimate victory, is saying there is no death. You can kill me. You can put me on the cross. You can shoot me in the head. Riders can come to my house and kill me. I don't care, because I'm coming back to life. I'm living eternal in heaven, and Satan has no power. We are allowing, it's almost like we're creating this evil world because we're not releasing the power of Christ in us throughout the entire world. We're letting Satan rule the world. Well, we have all the power in Christ right now.
Well, there's some truth to that. I think you're right. But I mean, everything that we're living in is truly a satanic system, and we choose to look away. I mean, when information comes out, for instance, about pedophilia in Disney, and when we sit there and mark it, we watch it, and we see like toddlers and tiaras, literally marketing little kids to pedophiles, and we have all this stuff, and nobody's calling it what it is. Everybody's just acting like, oh, it's cute or whatever. We are accepting it, okay, on certain levels. So we've sort of become part of the problem, and we've forgotten Okay, a lot of the morality that we should have, it's just out the window, really and truthfully. I mean, we really have to get back to some type of moral standards, and we just, we've just allowed, in my opinion, evil to run amok, and we're partially to blame for that. But I mean, look, when Jesus came and he led the way, and yes, he why do you think he paid the debt for sins? Okay, for sins that would be born later. Okay, like, you have to think about this for a second. Everything he said was for a future generation. The sins were paid for a future generation as well. Everything was paid going forward. Okay, so why do you think that would be if we weren't even born yet? So if we are born into this world of sin, of sign, think of it like this: everyone's a sinner because it's all written, dude. It's all look, it's all, when they talk about frequency and things like that, they're right to some degree, because this whole world is based off a much different system than you and I have ever known. Okay, sin is really the sine wave. And sine is a reference of time. That's why you have a signer. Okay, when you sign a contract, you're putting your energy into that, and you have a cosine wave that follows that, and you also have a cosigner when you do that. So, like, it's all about energy and things like that. So there's a more deeper esoteric meaning to our entire world, and we have been fools and we haven't been paying attention. Okay, most people are not looking into this deeper stuff. And so my point is that when they say you're a sinner, yeah, you're a timer, meaning you're trapped. What is time? Time is reference to Chronos. Chronos is reference to Saturn. Saturn is reference to Satan. We're all part of that satanic system. Okay, and that's one thing we just have to freaking remember, that where we are. I mean, look, man, I mean, they have done a great job painting this amazing picture of a world with the beauty in the world and everything else that we see in the, and there are many wonderful things about this place that are completely awesome. I totally agree. But John warned us not to be lovers of this world or anything in it. Okay, that it was a lie and basically an illusion. Okay,
Yeah.
this is spoken about.
There's something better, man.
Yes, and
There's
so we have
better. It's awaiting to come, and it's in God and Christ wants us to usher in the better new world. It's like, this is just a counterfeit. What we're seeing, this is like, it tricks us into thinking, oh, this is good. Let's get some money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make lots of money and go on vacation and do this, and family. Like, I have a family. I have 3 kids. I love my family, but even they can like that whole idea of like, I love my family so much. Like, you put them ahead of everything, when we can have our family in a better world. There's a better world coming, and Christ is trying to wake us up to bring in, Jesus. I believe Jesus Christ is the King of the universe. He's literally the King, right? And who is Jesus? Well, go back to what I originally said. I believe that we are Jesus. So we are the King. We are King Jesus together, all of us together. So individually, we're kings and queens, and we rule together.
Christ's spirit can reside in all of us. Christ's spirit can reside in all of us, for sure. I'm not saying that, I would go so far to say that I know I do too many things and struggle too much to be Christ. So I am not, in no way saying that in any form. I know I can be better. I know that I struggle, but my struggle here on earth is a human struggle, and most people have that struggle, and we don't always do the right things or say the right things or think the right things. Sometimes we think horrible things that we don't really mean, that we want to act out on, and that's where the prayer and the understanding, to be calm and to not just react to certain things. That's where it's important to be more, quote, Christ-like. Okay, and that's what I try to do each day.
To me, yeah, I hear you. And to me, what I'm hearing is that's guilt. Like, you have guilt, or you have some thinking that you're not good enough to have the fullness of Christ in you. And to me, that's a lie. That's an illusion. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, how many times did I have a negative thought today? I could sit here, if I wanted to, I could write, at least 10 to 20 things probably. I mean, who knows, 100, I don't know. But I can't live and I can't let that lead me. I have to let the Spirit of Christ lead me. And to me, that is releasing guilt and saying, that's not what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on my past. I'm focused on right now. You said it yourself that, time, the whole concept of time is from Saturn or whatever. I mean, to me, time is
that's what sin
time
means.
is evil.
Sin isn't sin. There's a different meaning
now.
of sin. It's a reference to time, being trapped in the time, because given enough time, everything dies. Okay, so you're
right.
You're trapped in this sinful, signful world, essentially. Okay, and so that's what I'm trying to tell you guys is if since Satan is reference to the god of time, and given enough time, everything perishes. Then you have to consider what we're all a part of, right? And we all know that we all die at some point, and we all realize that you're going to have to make that decision for yourself at some point in your life. You're going to have to decide what your life was about, and did you do enough things to make it back to the Heavenly Father. Will the Heavenly Father want somebody? It's about your spirit and about your soul and about what you do with that, more so than the things you've done in this world, as far as getting praise for or anything like that. Because it says in the Bible, give in private, pray in private. Just going out there and flaunting your holiness is not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to do it in private, because you know what? God knows exactly what's in your heart. So there's no need to do it out and, to be a public display, be flaunting all this stuff and see, you see it all over the place and people trying to flaunt their goodness. Well, that's not really truly giving of the Spirit. You're supposed to do it, for the right reasons, do it, through the heart. And so anyway, hopefully people learn this message, and I just think that, like I said, it's just my belief that when they say, you'll go to hell if you don't do this or do that, I don't think we understand what hell is. I think that too often we just assume hell is a place of the lake of fire, and it's not always. I have a feeling that there are many facets of hell. Anything below heaven essentially is hell, and we know that we are separated from heaven. We are, there is a barrier between heaven and earth now. It probably wasn't that way in the beginning, but it is now. Okay, once the flood got brought forth and the separation came, well, that's what we are. We're these souls that were probably part of the original creation. We've been here a long, long time, and we've probably been doing this over and over. You just don't remember it, because this is my theory on things. Like, looking at the whole grand scope of the world and how we've moved forward in history and things like that. My idea is that you and I are a lot older than we think, and that's why you have some people in this world that seem like old souls. Those people you've seen them. Yeah. Yes, Fizzy.
Those books that you got me, The Wheel of Time, it explains everything you're saying. They fight the same battle over and over, and it goes on for so long that people forget that they've already done it. You should really read it. You'd love it.
Well, and like I said,
the fight is over. There's no fight. There's the fight. We've done the same fight. Why? It's Groundhog Day, brother. We are literally living in ground. Because
I agree.
One thing I heard you just say was, heaven and hell is based on whether we go to heaven is based on, did I do enough good things? And I personally, this is my opinion.
Well, not good things. I mean, like
truth.
I mean, things I'm saying, you raising your spiritual understanding of yourself and God, and realizing what you're a part of. There's a level of understanding you need to get to. Okay.
Well,
to completely understand,
because there's
what's happening.
I'm never going to be, I'm never going to be smart enough. I'm never going to learn enough, like, to get to that. And what about the teenager who never heard about heaven or hell. Or
Well, why would they go burn in hell?
so-
Why would that person burn in hell? That doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
That
I'm
doesn't
not
mean.
saying that. What I'm saying is,
Well, that's what
not,
people
there's
say,
nothing,
though. That's what
people say that, but they don't have an understanding that it's all the Spirit of Christ who gives us, who brings revelation. Our thoughts are his. Like the only place I believe we need to get to is to be open enough to say, I surrender to the Spirit of Christ, so that I only want my thoughts to be Christ's thoughts, so that the thoughts that come in my head and the things that I'm feeling led to do are from Jesus Christ. And it's a moment to moment thing. It's not easy to be in that. I'm not saying it's easy to be in that, but if we can take that first step and say, yes, I do desire that, then he can come in right now and begin to work in us. And eventually there's going to be one day where he's going to return, and it's going to be this mass revelation to all people, to where that's what Jesus Christ's return is. It's a revelation. That's why it's a book of Revelation in the Bible. It's not like it's not something.
Well, let me put it this way.
That
look, when I talk about,
it's like he's revealing to us right now. In this, it's all about this moment.
Christ tried to reveal what this world was to us. He tried to explain to us the illusionary reality and sense that we lived in, by performing the miracles that he performed, by doing the thing to show everybody, like, hey, this place is more illusionary than you think. Look, I can literally, defy the laws of physics in this world right now. See what I'm saying? Like, he showed this to so many people who witnessed it, right? So my point is like this. This is how I look at it. Where you need to be spiritually, okay? So say, for instance, you are the type of person that believes that we were attacked on 9/11, and that was done by some Muslim fundamentalists, and you believe that attacking another country is a good thing because, we had to do it because we need to fight them over on their sand, right? Like you believe that bullshit narrative. Like, if you're that spiritually inept to not think of the children and the innocent that are being killed over there and not have a heart for them, then I don't think you're ready to go anywhere. See what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm sorry. It's not about believing in Christ. I'm sorry. I can't, because like at that point in time, you have to know where you are at spiritually in your soul. Why would God want some idiot? Why would he want you back if you're not ready and you can't see through this illusionary lie that is this world? Like, God wants us back, but he also wants you to learn. So my theory is that he doesn't just throw you away. You're an eternal being in a spirit. Yes, and he loves you, but you still need to learn. So maybe it's my theory that you don't go to hell if you don't just go to the lake of fire. I have a theory that you come back and you go through another cycle of whatever this reality is. How much do we have to prove that there's something going on with the Mandela effect, that things can change in a blink of an eye and things are very malleable? I wouldn't be surprised if that isn't the case. Who's to say that you don't come back and experience another life of this? I'm not saying I'm not an advocate. I'm saying, well, yeah, because I think that everything's on a cycle. I think that everything goes through a cycle. I think a lot of the stuff they talk about in, some of the ancient writings are correct, that, we're in a cyclical system, that it goes through a cycle, and that, from time to time you get implemented into that cycle again, if you're not ready to reach a certain level of understanding and spiritual development. I think that this entire world and the experience that we're going through is a spiritual one for yourself, but it's for you. I can't, I can show you the door, but you have to walk through it, right? Now, that old saying from the movie The Matrix, right? Like, that's in a sense true. You have to do it yourself. You have to be ready. And some people love it here. Some people want to come back here, and that's fine. Okay. If you, but
eventually the cycle is going to be broken.
Well,
and
it's
going to be when we realize there is no future, that time is an illusion, And so if time is illusion and not real, all that actually is real is right now, then there is no future. So you're still speaking in future tense. Like you're saying,
Right.
well, we have to learn like in the future, like tomorrow, hopefully we're a better person. No, there is no tomorrow. All we have is right now, and we have everything. We have infinity available to us right now in this moment. There's nothing else. Like we have the full power of heaven, full power. We have access to, the Bible says this, the word of God says that we have access to the fullness of God, and we can go. The Bible says we can go as deep in Him,
but very few people
as we desire
humble themselves enough before God to truly understand God. Very few people humble themselves enough to really say, hey, that ego is so strong, and all I'm saying is, man, how many people believe the lie right now? Just let's go with the 9/11 narrative. How many people believe that lie? The billions of people out there.
I'm trying to say, like, how do we combat? And I'm saying we need to help people break out of the lie. And I'm saying,
well,
to do that is this. What we're talking about is this momentary thing that we have access right now. There's nothing we have to do. We don't have to grow. We can grow infinitely right now through the power of Christ. Like, if you don't believe that, then you're still stuck in the illusion of time.
Well, I believe that we can grow. I believe we can grow. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying you can't wake
as much as
you can't wake somebody up. You can't wake anybody up that's not ready to be woken up. It's all up to the individual. Like with showing people their old memories. People don't even believe their own memories. Much less, why would they believe me? Who am I? I'm just some guy on YouTube, out here trying my best to espouse the truth that I have come to believe. And I'm not saying everything I'm saying is 100% right or correct. I'm just espousing my viewpoints on certain things. Take it or leave it. But look around you, man. It is what it is. We are living in a totally controlled world, and it's not a good place. I don't have a sense of this being a very good place at all. And, I'm not going to believe the fallacy that, there isn't something more sinister at work here, even though, believe me, I would love it if it wasn't here. I would love it if we could literally communicate through the spirit, where I meet somebody and and I know through our spirit, who I am and I know who you are. That's where we want to be. Okay. But
yeah, I think we can do that right now. I think we have the ability to do that right now.
I think some people do. I do.
So
I think some do.
We need,
but we need to all be doing it.
Opinion.
Yeah, we need to all be doing that.
And
the problem
starts with us.
Yeah. Well, we're obviously different people. Let's be honest. On this channel, we've talked about so many things in the last 4 years. It's obviously that it's very obvious to me that we're different in many ways, and even though we don't always agree. Okay, we can humbly, say, okay, that's fine. We appreciate your viewpoints and this and that. And that's what I try to do, is just listen to what other people have to say. And I may not agree, or I may agree. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it really is between you and God. That doesn't matter, truthfully, dude. That's really what it comes down to. And so, I just try to show people a little different aspect than they've really heard. Like I said, I walked, unfortunately, down the darker path before finding the light, because I had this weird idea that if I could see what was out there, if I could prove that there were really evil, quote, evil people out there with evil agendas, okay, and I could see that firsthand, then I would understand that there's ultimate good as well. If there's ultimate evil, then there's ultimate good. But I wanted to make sure, because I felt like I get told all too often that, this is God's work. God created this world. He created all for us, and Eden and all this wonderful stuff. And then at some point, we never really get told about the story about the fall of man. We hear about the fall of man, but we don't really know the story. And then, We're sort of stuck to left in our own devices, and we just live out this world, and we just trying to gain more of the material world without truly understanding the spiritual side. And then you get to a point in your life where you're like, I am completely missing something here. I'm completely empty and devoid of anything tangible in my heart, because just because I own a bunch of crap doesn't mean that makes me who I am. And it's like, yeah, dude, I had a real, hard fall when I realized, I'd been I had been living for the wrong God, essentially. I had been working for the wrong person, because I believe the lie. I believe that's, watching television, watching the news every day. Oh, this is going on. That's going on. Okay. I believed it. Why would they lie to me? Oh yeah. This whole world is a deception. And we're able to see the deception firsthand, primarily since we came together with the Mandela effect. But we're able to see it at least taking shape, or at least things going on a spiritual level that nobody, seriously, man, nobody can hardly speak on this. Because, most of the world, they may acknowledge it, but they don't really feel it. They don't really understand what we're really going through. Okay. Only a very few of us do. We're only a handful of people, man. We're just such a small group. That's why I'm not really big about, making my channel bigger, or, taking my message out to the masses, because I would literally be tarred and feathered for my message. There is no way in hell my message would get off the ground anywhere. All right. They're not going to let me speak. It's not going to happen. And I don't think people are really ready in some ways, because I believe that the individual, the person, has to wake up themselves. They have to be ready to accept the idea that the things in their world have been lies. Okay. And I need answers. And at that point, then you can go out and you can start researching and going through let's be honest. Let me ask you a question. In your path down this road, how long do you think you've been on it, honestly? Like, looking for truth, the truth of this world?
My whole life.
Your whole life.
Years.
Yeah. Okay. So it's been a long road, hasn't it? And it hasn't been easy, has it? Uncovering some of the things that you've uncovered, experiencing some of the things you've experienced, right? It's been a difficult road. Yeah. It's not easy. Even with God at your side, it's a hard pill to swallow. No, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, believe me, I 100% believe Jesus came here to guide us out of here. I believe Jesus is the guide out of here. He was explaining to us what we are a part of. Unfortunately, that message sort of got lost in translation somewhere, that we are, like, essentially cut off, all right, from the Heavenly Father, and that we need Jesus' guidance to get back. Most people think it's just about the belief. I think it's more about belief, but I also think it's about your understanding and your learning through this whole process. I think it's very important that you truly wake up, not just do good works. That's always a great thing, but you need to understand who you're doing those works for. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's, and if anyone's cut off, like you said, there is some kind of cutoff, between certain people who don't see this and God, right? Those people who don't see this, they're cut off from God, and Christ is the mediator, and somehow, Christ needs to reveal himself to those people. And I guess, part of what I'm saying too is that can happen right now for every single person, no matter how evil we see a person being, that they're actually able to come and not be cut off anymore right now if they desire it. There's nothing they have to do. They just have to believe and love and receive that love. That's all we're required to do. The laws, all the laws in the world, all the spiritual laws are summed up into just believing that we have the Spirit of Christ and just loving other people. That's all we have to do. And I like what you said about, your show is awesome because that's what you do a really good job at, is you listen to people, you accept all callers, and some I know are probably irritating from time to time. You might get irritated, but you do a really good job. You're very patient, and that's what you do best, is you show love by exemplifying patience and all the fruits of the Spirit. And, kindness,
man, thank you.
Patience,
thank you.
Kindness, and long suffering. And you're right, man. We just have to listen to each other and not always be overbearing, but we have to hear people where they're from and stuff like that. So I really appreciate you and what you do.
Thank you, man.
And
thank you, man. I love you too, brother.
So.
Thank you for the wonderful compliments, man. And I really do appreciate it. And like I said, the reason I am humbled by what I do on this show and when I come to people each week is just because I'm willing to admit that I don't know everything. I'm okay with that. I don't think any man can know anything. And I'm not going to be up here beating it in your head that I have all the answers. I will just humbly admit that I just do my best, and that's all I can do before God. That's how it works. And, I appreciate everything, man. So yeah, thank you.
That's good. Good
all
talk,
right,
brother. Appreciate it.
Good talk, man. Take care, man. You have a great night.
You too, brother.
All right,
thank you. You too.
Good night. Yeah, great call. Yeah, like, and the only reason I talk on these levels, man, about some of the other stuff I get into is because there is a deeper meaning of symbolism I never really going over with you guys that I know about with obviously everybody knows about gematria and that, but it's more. There is a group of people that seriously and they're it's like a horde of people pretty much. I mean, my God, that literally work in the shadows. And when you've sort of been privy to this information and you've seen it, then you would understand why I talk the way I do about certain things and not just the mainstream narrative of the Bible. Not to say that it's wrong or I'm right. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I just give you another alternative out there that could be correct, only because I think that, yeah, this world is a fallen world, and I think that God wants us back. I think that our spirits reside in these fleshly bodies to go through a learning process, and that's what I believe. I think that it's all part of that. But like I said, you're here tonight listening, and you probably, maybe some of you believe what I have to say, and some of you don't. You might not, but that's okay. Like I said, I am still learning as I go as well. So, Fizzy Pop,
Yeah.
you holding up? Yeah.
You think I'm an old soul or a young soul, Dan? I feel like a young soul.
That's a hard one. I think you're an old soul because you have the ability to see things, on deeper in deeper levels. Although I think old souls, we tend to. I mean, most of the people in here are all kind of witty and funny sometimes, and they understand my humor a little bit. Like I think old souls kind of joke about things.
Like older people will say things that you don't expect them to just because they don't care anymore.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's like, yeah, because I'm old and I'm an old soul, and I just maybe, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten to a level where I'm just like, yeah, just say it. Probably shouldn't, but it happens that way. And pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. Like, because I'm just seeing the world like we're now. I do believe we're in that the end time season. Nonetheless, I do feel like this has got to be coming to an end. I think it's funny when he brought up Trump too, like Trump always recites that weird poem about the snake and how it bites the woman. And she's like, why did you bite me? You're going to kill me. And he's like, well, stupid woman, you knew I was a snake.
Yeah.
I'm a snake. And I'm thinking he's done that like
Didn't he read that for a celebration? Like it was completely unrelated to what they were doing. He just busts out this poem and everyone's like, okay.
I think that all of these guys and all the politicians nowadays, and it's probably been this way for 50, 60 years, but I think all of them are snakes. I don't think we're ever going to not get a snake. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either or. I mean, they got us on both sides, right? So it's not like, oh, if we had just voted for somebody else, it would be better. No, don't you get it? The whole thing's rigged. It's not going to be any different. It's just that Trump just has a more of a hole way of going about telling you straight in your face he's a snake. And yeah, if you look at the guy, how slimy he is, like, let's be honest, before Trump was, before people were supporting him as a president, how many people, all these other people really gave a shit about Trump and thought he was that great of a guy? I think most people thought he was kind of a shitty person, but now all of a sudden, because he's president, they're like, you know, rah, rah, ree, they're all like, yeah, on board, and I'm like, you guys need to hold on. What do you say? Calm down. Yeah, calm down. People need to just wait and see. Like I said, I gave away. I'll give anybody a fair shake, but I mean, dude, come on, man. He's playing out his role just like the rest of the lizards over there. They're all doing a good job. I just think that there's a lot. I think it's hard to fathom what we're up against. I mean, just spiritually corrupt people that some are just driven by greed, and some are just driven by power, and some are literally just driven by the spirit itself. And that's what we're dealing with here. One huge mass of corruption all across the board. And you just have a few regular folks out there that are still, living each day and trying to do the best they can. The regular folks that probably on this channel tonight. So that's what we're dealing with, and that's what I think that it's hard to fathom. It really is. And of course, then you experience our illusionary reality, which is the Mandela effect in our world, and you start to realize that memories are being changed and whatnot, and things are being reshaped. But I believe a lot of these things are, God's doing to some degree, and I believe some of them are Satan's doing, essentially. I mean, it is told to us that Satan is the ruler of the air, and that is a ruler of this world. Well, never made sense to me that if God created this world and created this beautiful paradise for us, that somehow Satan is not the ruler of this world anymore, because Jesus even stated that. So we know this going in. And so, yeah, I don't know what is shocking to anybody, anything that I'm saying here. I'm not speaking like, shouldn't be lobsters coming out of my ears or anything like that. I'm pretty much talking about, some pretty factual stuff when it comes to what we're dealing with. And I think looking around, I think most people understand what I'm getting at. But yeah, it's wild, man. We are definitely living in some crazy times, people. And it's getting crazier all the time. Who knows? Maybe next month we have aliens. I mean, they already admitted that the damn things exist, right? They got the hidden tapes. They showed us. I mean, they're just getting ready to roll that one out. And we all know what that's going to be. I mean, goodness gracious, aliens, really? Oh, but right now with riots and all this stuff and COVID, if aliens showed up, would we just be like, we just probably throw our hands up and be like, fine, whatever. They were just like, yeah, if there's aliens, they've come to visit. They probably meet with Elon Musk. They'll talk about getting us to some, probably getting us to Mars or something. It's crazy. Like when you're there listening to people and you're hearing people espouse the greatness of Elon Musk, like I was
That
cool.
guy's creepy. How can you not believe in lizards when you see these people?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. I think is the weirdest thing when that dude brought up Bill Gates. The only thing I could think of is Bill Gates' wife. Yeesh.
Yikes.
Is that? Oof. Like, I'm not trying to shame or anything like that. Whatever. If Bill Gates is down with that, that's cool. But that chick looks like a dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Don't you think? I mean, let's be real. She looks like a dude. She's bigger than Bill. Yeah, she's like got the man hands and everything. Like, I think that might be a dude. I'm not sure, and that's cool. I'm not saying I'm not here to judge. Just saying. I don't know. It's kind of weird. God kick 7. Yeah, go kart Bob. Yeah. Well, we were acting like idiots. We become very sinful and lustful and just defiled everything in this world, brother. They are all inverted couples, Dan, Jennifer M. It seems that way, Jennifer.
Well, Bill Gates would make an ugly woman, so that was probably a better choice. Dan's like,
Yeah,
onto that.
Well, no, it's weird because I remember years ago seeing all that stuff, and the first one that got me was the one about Serena and Venus Williams being
Oh
dudes,
yeah, yeah.
being yeah, and I saw their pictures when they were kids, and this looked like little boys with beads in their hair. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for real. And it's just like
What if
I
they
would
don't even know? What if they fix
right.
them at birth and they don't even know?
How do you know these boys weren't messed with at birth and told that they were feminine, and they had to
Mhm.
they probably give them a certain drug, give them estrogen or whatever, and they grew up believing they're. I mean, it's very possible. As sick as these people are, man, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think this world really has some dark shit that's going down, and people seem to look away and don't look at the obvious truth. I just think that's part of our problem too. That's another issue we have because I mean, nobody wants. It's never. Let me just say, as a guy who peered into it, it's not going to make you feel any better. So I don't blame anybody for not wanting to go down those roads. It's terrible. It's just awful when you start to have the realization of things that go on in this world. Oh man, it breaks your heart. Let me get to the next caller, Aaron Buell. Let's see. Hey, Ron, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Hey,
Hey,
man.
Fizzy, when Dan found you in the Shire, was he in his true form or was he wearing his skin suit?
What's his true form?
What's my true form?
He's a reptilian.
Oh, I'm a lizard.
No, not Dan.
Oh man. Oh god.
Oh, yes, he
Well,
is.
I must be
'cause
one.
in the Shire, I know like reptilians are more accepted and everybody's more
No, we don't
accepted.
like reptiles in the Shire. We want everything perfect and fun.
The Shire. The Shire. Listen to this guy.
What did
He's
you say, Fizzy?
I said
What'd
we
you
don't
say?
like lizards. We want everything perfect and fun. Oh, but
Oh, so Dan
Bilbo
was
actor
wearing his
died,
skin
so I don't want
suit
to talk
when he
about
was
the Shire right now.
What happened in the
Oh,
Shire?
you're homesick?
No,
Oh.
Bilbo died.
Oh, Bilbo. That's right. We just heard about Bilbo Baggins,
Mhm.
as the actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, he'll be back alive again in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I don't know. He's not that memorable. I mean,
It's been.
that was awful.
Is that why
Hey,
you're
man.
on? Because remember, Dan, you have that low body temperature, and
I did,
it's
man.
like 50 degrees.
That freaks
outside,
me the
and
hell
you
out.
Go outside.
Bro, no, that really
What?
freaks me out right now. I'm so triggered by the lower body temperatures in this world, and I didn't think I was one of those. Apparently, yeah. I mean, if anybody has to stake a claim to maybe being a reptilian, I mean, you had to point the finger at me because I'm like 97 degrees, dude. When they measure me at school,
I'm still
you know,
98.6.
why am I so low?
I
I
don't
am
know.
so triggered by this. I should not be that freaking low, man. It's bumming me out. And I'm like, dude, this is not cool. Like, and people just act like, oh no, that's the normal thing. Temperatures range from us. No, like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They were always around 98.6. And if you were literally a few degrees lower or higher, you were either, having a fever or you were going hypothermic. So dude, now it's like, oh, 97, no big deal. No, like, whatever, man. That is weird to me.
Yeah,
So
that's why you're always so cold.
I am not
and then
cold.
on top of that, like if your air conditioner goes out and you're like you get super hot because that skin suit's so hot, you gotta have the temperature just perfect.
I have to admit
You can't
something
be like
to you.
outside in the Texas summer with the skin suit, even if you're a lizard. That's just too hot.
Listen, here's the thing. I think maybe my inner reptilian's coming out or something. Because I'll be honest, I've been known to hug trees and stuff, but the other day I saw a large rock and I wanted to lay on top of it. Is that sign right there? Do you think that might be a problem? Like
definitely. And I also think that when you would buy all those crickets and everything, you weren't buying, like you were buying way too many of them. They weren't all for your pet. A lot of those crickets for you too.
Oh, you think I was working on my snatching crickets with my tongue skills? Like, just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you might be onto something there. I mean, I often, thought if Puffy didn't eat all those crickets, that maybe I could partake in a few, but I never did. But there was a push. Now, maybe we're getting down to the bottom of this. So, what other signs should I look for, sir? Since you seem to know.
Yeah, and then also you never want to be on. You're never on camera, anything like that. Like even when Photo Helix was talking about you wanted you in the hot seat.
Oh yeah.
He didn't want it. He said he would even do it where you didn't have to be on camera because you're worried you're going to glitch out and people will see your reptile form if you're on camera.
Man, I often say this, dude. The truth is the truth. I'm just too cute for YouTube. So the thing is that if I was to get on YouTube, I'm afraid I might break it. Okay. And honestly, I just don't want to do it to the other, and really this is like for the other content creators out there. Like, dude, if I got on camera and showed my cuteness, okay, like nobody would watch their channels. Everybody would just come to the Scare Performance channel and there would be no love to be spread around equally. So I do it for other channels. Okay. It's not for me. It's for the others.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember even on a couple years so back when you went on Kay's channel. It was pretty funny. A lot of the girls there were like, "Oh yeah, his voice is so sexy. I heard he's a looker too." And trying to minimize that.
Where did you hear this at? Where did you hear this?
It was the chat when you were on Kay's channel. That about a year ago you did it.
Yeah,
you did a show on Kay's channel. I guess some of our viewers that don't watch this show were all talk about how much they like. A lot of the ladies were talking about how much they liked your voice. And it's funny, a couple of them are like, "And I heard he's a looker too."
I did turn the camera on one time. I did turn it on for Fizzy and Kay. Yeah. I thought about doing a broadcast like that where I turn the camera on. I thought about that, but I haven't done it. It's like,
as long as you got that little bit of stubble.
What's that, Fizz?
When
Fizz like
stubble. Yeah, just keep a little bit of stubble, Dan.
My speakerphone doesn't. It can't even pick up your. It can't reproduce the high frequency on a speakerphone. You gotta do the old man voice.
Oh God!
I think you should do the whole.
I think you've been watching.
When your old man voice. When you making fun of that.
You've been
guy who was like, "Are you really gonna buy that? That's for little kids, you know."
I think you've been watching too much the V series from the 80s. I think you're getting a lot of your information, sir. That's just confabulation. I remember
the V series from the 80s.
Yeah, I did too.
That, but I think too how Busy is always saying, "Come on, Dan, don't you know your reptilian lore? Because you always play ignorant about like every other conspiracy out there." But whenever there's a reptilian conspiracy, you don't know. You didn't know about the pole-to-pole storms or any of that stuff. So I think you're just playing dumb because you just don't want anyone to know that you're really a reptilian. But you're probably one of the good ones, like Beyonce.
Like Beyonce. Oh my God! Thanks, man, for invoking Beyonce into the conversation. Wow.
Her reptilian form and said, "Oh, I'm one of the good ones."
I thought that was Adele. Adele, remember? I heard that she repped out in Australia. Yeah, it was Adele. She repped out, apparently. That was in the media, and it got quickly taken off, which is weird. But, I guess it was too tabloid for them. And, yeah, apparently, she repped out. Her audience was there backstage to get some autographs, and she just lost form. She just tail sprouted out. That's what it was told. Freaked everyone out. But of course, we never heard from any of the people that were getting an autograph. We don't have any eyewitness testimony of this, unless she just gave them all $1 million to shut up about it. So I don't know what happened, or maybe she ate them. I don't know. Nonetheless, yeah, that's what the story was. But then it got removed. I saw that on YouTube where they talked about that. That was kind of crazy. So. I don't know. I think most of the glitch outs. Yeah, what's up?
Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say I think most of the glitch outs we see on television isn't necessarily people repping. I think really what it is it's a filter, man, that they put over everybody's face. Huh?
Defending your lizard friends again.
I am not defending lizard friends. I'm saying that most time these like now with the new apps they can like filter your face and make you look like you got like the ass of a like you got like baby ass face basically.
I think it's the
like
apps
it's so
and
smooth.
not their eyes or something.
Well, you can do all kinds of things, right? And I think that's what's going on is they've had this technology, for years. It's just, whatever. Now it's come to the apps and they can do it on phones, but and your computer as well. But yeah, I think they've had it and that's what we're seeing is sometimes it glitches out and we're not, that way they don't have to put makeup on them. They just sit there and it saves time, and they just film them. And that's why they always look so perfect. Like all these quote perfect looking people, and then
rid of pores too.
Pores on anybody anymore. It's so weird. There's like no skin texture or anything. They just
it's wild.
Absolutely like smooth face. Yeah.
Party puppy.
Yeah. You know that picture you have on your your Facebook. On your Facebook on your channel. Where you have you're wearing the bandana that shows you've been dragon winged because it's blue from the Order of the Blue House, and you have the as above, so below, mark the beast with the morning star as above, so below on it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like you said.
Oh my God, it's a bandana, man. I had no idea that there was symbolism all over it. I just, threw it on. Okay, go ahead.
It down, so I guess you just
the order. Did you say the Order of the Blue House? What the hell is that? That's some sort of Masonic thing. I never heard of that one.
You're playing dumb. You don't know
I've heard the Blue and the Red Lodge. I've heard the Blue and the Red Lodge. But never the house. Never heard of the. No, if you said lodge, I'd be like, but you said house. I've never heard of the Order of the Blue House.
I think the main headquarters is considered the house.
Oh, I see. I guess I'll just go with you on that since you're the resident Mason. But go ahead, share with us some more. Share some more inside secrets.
In that picture there, you said that you were that's your neutral face, and that you've been pretty much totally sober since the Mandela effect. But you look so high in that picture. Oh my God! Like how much weed did you smoke when your ex was calling you up?
No, man.
And yelling at
I
you?
swear.
You got perma-baked. How much?
Oh my God, dude! Listen, no, there was a time where I partaked, here and there. I wasn't really a big day-to-day weed smoker. Never was. So, maybe a weekend puff or something like that. But yeah, and I wasn't baked in that picture. It's just, I don't know. It's the way, sometimes you squint a little bit. I don't know. The flash, I don't know. It's kind of the way it came out.
No, I thought you said when you were breaking up with your wife, she would like call you up every day. And that's you. So you were just smoking.
Oh, during that time,
nonstop, so you could deal with it. Like, how much weed did you smoke during that time period?
Well, that time period, yes, I did. That was the one way I could communicate and take her anger without me overreacting to, because I found that when you're dating, when you're in a relationship with a significant other, women have a tendency to get very angry with you. And I wasn't used to that. So part of my problem was I didn't listen. So I was always very reactionary, like, no, don't think that way. With women, you have to sometimes just let them get it out. So weed allowed me to let them get it out. I mean, that's the best and most honest way I can describe what I went through. So I would get high and I would call her up and she would go, she'd tear into me and I'd be like, yeah, baby. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I could just take it because the weed helped, create like I don't know, like a buffer from the pain. But get this, because we were able to work it out and talk again because of weed. And I swear to God, this is true. Because if it wasn't for weed, I would have been so reactionary because women say things, man, because they can't hurt you physically. So they have a unique way of wording things that will will go right to the soul. Okay, so you have to like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, you have to like endure
when
that.
Women get mad, when women are mad, they're actually still able to think and be pretty smart and can be calculating and shit. So yeah, like I agree, women can be dangerous, or both guys.
Well,
when
they know how to say things.
Into the Hulk and want to smash things.
Well, well, when your wife, when
we're mad,
right, when the woman you love, okay, is mad at you and she's really angered or whatever, and she feels justified, you sort of have to let them work it out and get that anger out. Like there's not a lot you can say some things, but you just still at the same time you have to let them sort of vent. And my problem is that I'm such a fixer. I'm always like, I don't want to let her vent. I don't want her to go down that road. I don't want her to say those things because I don't feel like they're factually correct. Okay, well, sometimes when you're in a situation, in a relationship like that, it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Sometimes women just need to say what they need to say. Okay, that's I am. Believe me, it took a little bit of puff.
I just want someone to listen and understand and take it seriously.
Yes, I understand, Fizzy. I know. That's why I'm a much better man today than I was. Okay, I've learned. Okay, but when I was younger,
how much weed were you smoking back like during
a lot
period? Because I think you
got
permanently. I think you got yourself permanently baked. And did you start to get pulled over a whole lot after that? Because if I was a cop and you looked the way you did in your on the picture there, I would think you were way too fucking blazed to be driving. I'd pull you over too.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's just that you're perma baked. That's why you're so chill too these days. Because I've seen you get ornery once or twice on the show, and that was it. I've never seen you get like super ornery before on the show, even though people like said some stuff where I was just like, wow.
Well, I'm not perma-fried, so there's that. And then the night that
perma-baked.
Oh, perma baked, or we used to call it perma fried, but yeah, no, I'm not. I like I said, I would look. I'm the kind of person that I get to a level of highness, and I'm good. Like I don't need to keep going any farther than that. I'm good. Like once I hit that, and that's usually like two puffs, and I'm happy. You know, it just depends on the stuff, of course. You know, obviously. You know, some of that stuff's a little bit stronger than other stuff, but you know, it depends. I'll take the one puff and I'm good. And so yeah, that worked for me. I mean, hey man, I mean, dude, I told you about the party the time I had, and when my wife and I were separated, and like she started yelling at me, and this is the one time where the weed didn't work out for me. It kind of backfired, so I was a little high. And she called and she started yelling at me, but I was having a party, right? And so then I didn't want to really listen to her. I was like, oh, well, you know, I wasn't ready to hear her bitch at me again. So I basically hung up, and I was like, you know, I went and I ripped. My friend had this big, 3-foot long bong, big thing he brought over to the house. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to rip that sucker, man. So I ripped into that, and he looked at me like, oh, dude, you just messed up, bro. Like, you don't know what was in that. And I was like, well, what was in it? He's like, some of the most powerful shit I've ever brought over, bro. And it's like, you're about to be completely baked. And I'm like, oh, crap. Well, I didn't mind so much because we were having a great party and there were people over and it was fun. And we're hanging out and I'm playing some Wii. And about an hour later, my friend looks over and he's kind of this kid. He was a younger guy, but he had shaved his head for like a dare. So he kind of looked like a Nazi, you know? And so he looks over and his eyes get real big, and I turn around and my wife was so mad. I never seen a woman that pissed off in my life. She literally came into the house and resonated such energy that it cleared out the entire. She didn't have to say anything. It's her energy alone shut down the party, bro. She didn't have to say. She had to scream. Just her very presence there, everything. The music stopped and people scattered like cockroaches. So then we went out the front door, And she was so like, my friends could sense that she was so angry with me. She slammed the front door. Well, these guys are high as shit in the back of the house. So they hear bam. And they're like, and my friend, the guy who's got the bald head, who looks like a Nazi, he's like, oh, I think she just shot him. Like they thought she was so like, dude, that's how mad they thought she was. Like she came over there to kill me. Okay. So then, so they're out back with golf clubs waiting to club her as she walks to her car. Okay. Of course she never comes because we sit outside and talk. And it turns out later, you know, like I go out to talk to her and she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm like, well, I'm just having a party. And she's like, and you brought over a Nazi? And I'm like, I was like, he's not a Nazi. He's just an idiot. I swear to God, he's not a Nazi. Anyway, oh my God. So later on, I'm out there and I was high for hours. I swear to God, I couldn't. She kept trying to talk to me and I kept taking everything the wrong way. She said there were cars parked out in the yard. And she meant like on the side of the house. I thought she meant in the middle of the yard. I was taking everything so literal. I was so high. And I was like, what are you talking about? There's no cars out. I'm looking in the middle of the yard. There's no cars. I don't know what she means. Like it was the worst night. The worst way to be is to be high. And when someone's angry at you and they're trying to like talk to you and they're mad and you can't figure it out because you're too baked to understand their anger. Is like the worst. Like that was an awful night. Like seriously, you can't get no. Well, I went out there.
You just started laughing.
Yeah, I thought things were funny that shouldn't have been funny. She wasn't taking, like, for instance, when they wanted to kill her with golf clubs and they thought she had shot me, I died laughing outside. She was in there talking to a friend of mine. Both friends were hanging out, trying to calm her down. And I went in there and I told her the story and I just died laughing. And she's just staring at me like she wants to kill me. Like seriously, like she's so just like, oh my God. And I thought it was funny. I mean, I did. I was like, my two friends thought you shot me. I thought that was hilarious. But she didn't think that was so funny. Yeah, the whole time was just very, very arduous to say the least. It was one of the worst nights of my life. And yeah, glad that's over. Yeah, but yeah, man, that's what happened. So anyway, what else is up, man?
Oh, I got another Mandela effect to talk about. It's your favorite type.
What do you mean?
Well, you know your favorite type of Mandela effects are.
Well, I like some avocados and
body changes, Dan.
Oh, not body changes. No. Oh gosh.
Intuition, yes.
Okay. All right. So tell me about body changes. What do we got?
Change Mandela effect. I was like, this was happened probably about a month and a half ago or so. Maybe a month ago. I was just like shaving. I looked in the mirror and I noticed there was like a ring around the outside of my iris that, separated my iris from the whites of my eye. And I started freaking out a little bit. I was like, oh, what the heck? I don't remember seeing that. And so I was about to go online and look up, irisology or whatever it's called, where you can see if there's any health issues from your iris. Mm-hmm. But instead I decided, I'm just going to go on YouTube and look at everybody else's eyes. And everybody else had the same thing. And I did not remember that, like the actual.
That's an old, that was brought up like 2 years ago, man. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Did I just fade? That's something that happened 2
years ago. That's a 2-year-old Mandela effect. Yeah, everybody was freaking out about the dark ring around the edge of the iris. Yeah, that was wild. And the good thing for me is I have brown eyes, so I have one too, but you can't see it very well. So I couldn't be for sure if mine was there or not. But I have a friend with like, shockingly blue eyes. Beautiful eyes for a man. Anyway, he's got the dark blue iris and he freaked out because he was like, what the hell? I was like, do you remember that being on your eye? And he's like, oh, hell no. And he's like, he's freaking out. He's like, man, what are you doing to me, Dan? he's blaming me like somehow I did something. Like, it's a Mandela effect, man. Calm down. But he's Mandela affected, so it's okay. He kind of understands what's taking place. But yeah, he freaked out. So I've had some people tell me that it's definitely strange. What about you, Fizzy? You got the ring?
The what?
The ring around the eye.
No, well, my eyes are so brown you can't really tell.
Oh.
Right. I think it's more noticeable when you got lighter eyes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. Well,
yeah, that's true. Because I could even remember people were talking about eye changes. Like, I remember some people said the pupils went hexagonal.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if people were talking about the ring one or not. But for me, as far as I know, I must have just phased in. That's really weird how that happens. How you said a lot of people too will tell you like they remember it being Flintstones and then it changed back to Flintstones, but then they'll say, "Oh, that happened just a couple of months ago for me."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like I had to get on YouTube and watch some of your favorite type of videos too. I was like watching ASMR videos because it has, close-ups of everybody's face, and I was just like, they got a ring around their iris.
Yeah,
they do. I was like, man, that must be a Mandela effect change.
Dude, there's a lot of weird. I mean, there's some I subscribe to. I don't necessarily get into completely like the detailed aspects of it, like like the ribs and stuff like that. Like, I'm pretty sure I always thought that, the ribs are definitely strange. I would say that the fact that the kidneys now are, like protected by the ribs a little bit. They seem a little bit higher.
Yeah, they're up above the rib, up in the rib.
Yeah, that seems a little weird.
The one thing I didn't remember. The one thing I didn't remember either was the like on your back, the ribs that don't go all the way around. They're just like, they don't go all the way to the front. They're just in the very back of you, and they're only like
a floating rib.
Just past just before your where your love handles would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about that too with a friend of mine, and it was funny because he was like he believes in the Mandela effect too, and he was just like, what the hell's going on? And when I told him about that, he went to feel him, and when he felt him in his body, he just went like, like literally, we were just hiking on this trail by a river at night, and he just like froze after he felt him, and like literally made that sound, and his eyes just got super wide.
Right. Yeah. Bizarre times, man, for sure. Yeah, like I said, the iris is a big one for me. That definitely is very strange. And what other one? What I say is a top one for me. Oh gosh, there's so many different body changes.
Your shoulders getting all big.
That was weird, and because I saw that in the freaking mirror, and I noticed it looked different. Like, my shoulders looked different.
Yeah, my shoulders got narrower. Like, I remember the rib cage. The way the ribs are, like the higher up they went, the wider out they got. So your rib cage was like V-shaped, and since it's changed, now it's like once it gets to about where your armpits are, the ribs start to taper back in. So so for me, my experience is my shoulders got narrower.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily say that the body changes can't happen, because honestly, with the world the way it's been and the reshaping of everything else we've seen, why not? I mean, it goes without saying that, it's definitely very possible. So yeah, man, definitely some strange effects going on out there. I mean, I'm glad you caught up to the eye thing though. Yeah, that's been a weird one for a long time. People claiming that.
Yeah, that was a trip for me.
Seeing the dark ring.
For me, because just every time I would see anybody or just watching any videos at all that had pictures of people, when I would see that ring around their iris, that took about a good 2 weeks to get used to that, to seeing that.
Yeah. What other anything else pop up lately that interests you?
Oh, just like you said about how you can't wake somebody up unless they're willing to be woken up. Yeah, because with my whole with the group I'm playing, the role playing game, that Call of Cthulhu game with, ever since the whole social distancing fiasco thing, they just do it online now. And so I just use my phone and like do a lot of chores and stuff while, you know, I'm waiting for my turn to do anything. And they all did at the game, like devolved to this to where like they were all complaining about Trump and like, oh, I can't believe him, blah, 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 this and that. And so then I just ended up like blurting out, like I couldn't take it anymore. And I should have just not said anything, but, you know, I just like, said, oh man, you know, I told them all, I was like, they're just playing you guys like a fiddle. I was like, it's like every single president is like candidate is ninth cousins from each other. They're all from the ancient royal bloodline that goes back to Charlemagne.
Oh God.
And can be traced back to the Babylonians and Sumerians, just like those Masonic Lodge Hall murals that you see. and then I said, it doesn't even matter who you vote for. I was like, they both take the same special interest money from Monsanto, Bayer, ADM, GlaxoSmithKline, and I said that's still business as usual. We're still messing stuff up in the Middle East. And I said they just have a two-party system to make you think it would be a perfect utopia if it wasn't the other party's fault. And they just say really divisive stuff so they can have so they can declare martial law and make more draconian measures, and just went off on that. And one of them even said, I agree with you on everything except for the ancient royal bloodline part. And then, yeah, it was pretty funny. Like the other people, I think, just got kind of upset about it.
That's, well, I mean, listen, if waking somebody up is the idea of giving them a sip of water, you basically took them to the edge of a cliff and then just kicked them into the ocean. You can't do that. You got to like slowly, sir. Oh my goodness. You can't just be like blurting that. Yeah. I mean, you're going back to royal bloodlines and I mean, no, people, you know, I'm thinking like, oh, about halfway through that, people just glassed over and shut down. They just stopped. They probably went to convulsions.
That they all believe, they all are like avid CNN watchers. And because I told them like, because I remember like a couple of years ago, like we were just getting something to eat after the game, and at the restaurant we're at, somebody said, oh, one of my friends told me that if you're like an independent, you don't watch mainstream media. Like that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know why he would say that. And I said, well, that's because like Fox News is biased towards the Republicans. And then I said, you know, the other mainstream news is more biased towards the Democrats, you know, especially CNN. And then they all were like, got really upset and said, oh, CNN isn't biased towards the Democrats. And so I just was like, okay, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything else. Just shut up. It's a lost cause. So even with me knowing that, you know, they are avid CNN watchers and believe everything about CNN, because I was trying not to say anything at all or say any more truth or stuff to them, because I just wanted to get a gauge as to like what people like that thought. And like after every game's over, they always talk, you know, online for the next 15, 20 minutes about, the curve is unflattening. Oh, it's so bad. I was hiking on a trail and somebody walked past me and they weren't wearing a mask and they walked right by me and I'm in school right now. I can't get sick. And it's just amazing, like how much they believe all of that. Because when it was first happening, one guy was making fun of a guy that was actually working at his work and was wearing a mask, and his glasses were fogging up, you know. And he was like, yeah, doesn't that guy know that like you're just breathing in more bacteria and it's only going to make you sicker, and the mask doesn't even work? And now they're just like, someone walked past me without a mask. Oh my God. And I mean, these people are pretty smart. They one of them works for a company that does flight simulators, and he like programs in, you know, the graphics and stuff for the flight simulators, and they do other stuff like that. So they're all, you know, pretty intelligent people, but just the way the news comes at you, and they're just masters at, you know, just manipulating you and psychologically just getting at you. It's just interesting to see how much they've changed their narrative now.
Yeah. Well, there's it's crazy, man. I mean, people are acting really strange about the whole mask thing, like I said, and they you know, like I said, I think it's more of if my opinion is that, like I told you about the things that seem to be walking amongst us, I think that it's killing them, and I think they want us. I think we're carriers of it, and if there's more of us covered up, that's less chance that they will get sick. That's my theory. That's one, that's my, that's the only way it makes any sense at all. It's like they want us covered up for a reason,
Well, I think they just want to do that because it's it helps with the psychological effect because it's a visual stimuli. Like everywhere you go, you see people wearing it, so it makes the pandemic like look more legit, and it's always on your mind when you're saying that.
Sure. Yeah.
And then it's also just the negative health benefits, the health effects of wearing the mask. And then a lot of those masks too have like antiseptics built into the mask, like what Fizzy was talking about. Her brother got ill, and so you're just huffing in all those chemicals from the antiseptics nonstop too. So yeah, everything they do has hundreds and hundreds of purposes. It's all multi-purpose. Like they've got really advanced AI that they've been using for years and years now. So the AI is like really smart and knows how to roll things out, how to manipulate people, and how how to do things that are going to have like multifaceted uses.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
you said about the technology being so advanced, are you familiar with it? I can't remember the exact name of it, but there's an actual thing called United States Security Code. And one of the codes, if there's any patent that is considered a threat to national security or the economy, then if you're lucky, they'll just give you some money for it, and they'll make you sign a non-disclosure act. So a lot of that stuff, so anything that's advanced at all or could really be a game changer just gets snatched up real quick, and you just go.
I'm sure.
Military use.
I'm absolutely well aware of that. Yeah, because I saw designs of literally free energy motors. An Indian guy developed, and he's gone. Okay. Anyway, it's okay because we needed to get going anyway.
He's really worked up today.
He was. He had a lot to say, and I was going to tell him though, but that's true, 100% true. They had this motor that ran on compressed air, and it would just keep generating. And it was awesome. It was a really cool design. I remember talking to the inventor. I remember being at this tech show there in India, and he was an Indian inventor, and it was really really cool to see this engine. And it's like, where is it? What happened to it? It's gone. And I've seen other things in my life that people have come out with really strange devices, but not being used. When somebody bought the patent, somebody, paid them off or whatever, but they're gone now, right? And I don't know if I believe the story about the water car inventor. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I don't know. It seemed plausible, like he invented a system, but I think his system was interesting. It wasn't so much injecting water into the engine as a fuel. What he was doing is, he was injecting water, but what he was doing is use a frequency to break up the water. But what people miss out on the patent, a lot of times they're using spark, and they're using fuel and water together to try to get more of basically you can cut your fuel down and you can use the water or the hydrogen in the water as a fuel source, which yes will work. The problem is though, you're injecting water straight into there, and it's not broken down or atomized properly, which then can destroy your engine. I think what he did, and what I don't think people have thought about, is that he says in a video that he replaces the fuel injector with a water injector. Oh no, he replaces the spark plug. That's what he did. So what I think he did was he developed a spark plug that would ignite, but it also would inject the water in there. But the thing is that there was a frequency modulator inside of each spark plug. So essentially when the water went through, it was literally being zapped with a frequency that broke it down into its, hydrogen form right into the engine. See what I'm saying? It's like, so it was almost like, just breaking down to like very small molecules. So it wouldn't harm the engine. And that's why I think it was able to work. And that's why it can be converted. He said he could make conversion kits that would convert to any car, and you could run on water essentially. And I think he used the fuel to start it up, and then I think it would transfer to the pure hydrogen once you got it running. And I think that's how it worked. I really do. But most people think that you have to hook up these little like fuel cells to your car and then pump it in there. And I don't think that's the correct way to do it, because to me, people have blown up their motors, putting too much water into the engine, and water and combustion engines don't mix when they're liquid form. Yeah, that's bad. So, yeah, I think that's how we did it.
I don't understand any of that, but you sounded
Yeah.
just let it go.
Did it? Yeah, right.
You get all
Maybe.
worked up when you talk about cars.
Well, I mean, hey, I am a car guy. What can I tell you? Hey, let's do this. We've hit 3 hours and 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Yeek. Okay. That's probably a good time to stop. Let me go ahead and give this stream a quick shout out. Let me see what we got here. We have it's dwindled a bit, but we still have 142 watching. So, hey guys, what's up, late night people, late night party people? Another late night 78. Our universal consciousness is here. Brandon is here. Catherine Snows, Dean Johnson. There's Fizzy with a wrench. There's Jennifer M. Matt is hello. Good to see them back again. Mad Pyman, Mike Bowman, Mandela Mile. I saw Mad Pyman on a video the other day. What did I see him? He was doing a little video with, what was that guy's name?
Tommy.
With Tommy. Yeah, Matt's got a poker face, man. He just sat there the whole time with that same, like, he didn't, he's a very attentive guy. He didn't probably move. I wanted to poke him a few times. Like, is he real? Is he still alive? Like, his whole poker, like, for 3 hours, man. Like, he just, like, yeah, he's a good listener. Good listener. So Matt's a good dude. Mike Bowman, see Mandela Mile, Melissa Hecker, Party Puppy with the wrench. Party Puppy, I love his joke with the pencils. Did you see that joke? That was a great dad joke.
I've been doing dad jokes all night for Father's Day.
I love it. Yeah, it's been funny. I haven't been able to comment, but I've been watching them. PG2424, pushing button 62. Richard Melgar, all the way from Australia, the shiftiest place on earth. Spencer's Mustache, Spider 420, True TNT, Variable, Varush A. Varush has a new avatar. They used to have a different avatar. I remember their old one. I don't know why. It's so weird. Like, I can actually remember people's avatars, like, a lot of times. Like, I know when they change, like, hey, you changed your avatar. What's up with that? Not that it's a conspiracy or anything, just saying, But anyway, yeah, thanks guys for being a part of this one. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And we'll be back with you guys for Mandela Monday. We'll have Sandy and Noble and Fizzy and myself, and we'll all be here. And yeah, looking forward to that show in just a few more days. And yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this one up, y'all. Thank you all for being a part of this one. For all of us at the Scare Performance Channel, you guys have a wonderful night. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you Monday night. Take care, guys.